Okay, let's get to the whole thing here. I had a complete YouTube video taken off the internet last night because I had, 3 seconds of somebody else's music playing in my video? Literally, totally censored by a completely overpowering police state, which appears to me to be the worst possible scenario. We're looking at a country that is now no longer to freely speak out on the internet, post on YouTube, because of a new product they're calling YouTube Red. And they're claiming that all these new international laws like Trans-Pacific Partnership is preventing people from playing some music, because in some countries, Haiti, you're not allowed to play certain songs. I mean, the whole thing's absurd in our country because it's being forced into this global mindset of the liberal Democrat president we have named Barack Obama, who's more like a communist. Because this trend of liberalism has strangulated our nation's freedoms and forced the American people now to look for some other party, we came up with this party, America's Third Party, as a challenge to these people who are trying to censor everybody, watch our emails, everybody's emails, not just us, anybody, and then forcing the American people into this desperate, constantly wondering if we're going to get charged with a ticket wherever we go. I mean, how many of you drive 5 miles an hour below the speed limit so you don't get ticketed? I mean, there are people out there that are living in fear of their own country. And that's what we've created, folks. And now our president is opening the borders to Syrian refugees. And he's already opened the borders to over 685,000 Muslims. Seriously, we talked about that last night. That's probably why they took it off the internet. I led with that story. 685,000 Muslims have gotten green cards in the past 5 years under Barack Obama. So yeah. We definitely need to do something about it. So we created America's Third Party. And the third party is more than just an amalgamation of wacky ideas. We actually have some really interesting ideas that could help the country gain traction in the economy, help solve the economic crisis we're in right now. Unlike Barack Obama, who just wanted to throw money at things, we've actually got ways in which we can get that money directly to you. Not many people got any money at all from TARP 1 and TARP 2, especially average people. And many people are struggling with financial crisis for their student loans. There's $1.3 trillion in outstanding student loan debt. Snappy Smurf says 600,000 Muslims got green cards. Yeah. I know, Snappy. And many of you Democrats who thought that Barack Obama was offering you something, I wouldn't doubt he is. Many people who wondered if they'd get anything from Barack Obama besides an Obama phone didn't really get anything. The ones that profited from Barack Obama were the people that were on unemployment for 99 weeks. That totaled nearly $45,000. Many of those people scored. And then it stopped. And then what happened was the number of people that were on the unemployment rolls no longer could file for unemployment. They'd reached that limit. So they dropped off the unemployment rolls. Well, that fake unemployment statistic that they use, they claim that our unemployment rate is at, 5.3%? It's a fake statistic because it just shows all the people that dropped off, that got their 45,000 and then stopped. And those people ended up becoming nervous mental problems, claiming to have psychological problems, so they then collected welfare. So now our welfare rolls are spending more money every before. We are basically not solving problems with creating economic growth. We're just funding a nanny state, and everyone's becoming a leech. And that's not good. My chair, oh, I'm sorry. Somebody says my chair is something. No, my hair is not green, it's brown-ish white, beige, blonde, dirty blonde. I'm a dirty blonde. Now, calling people names because you're no longer interested in talking politics is not going to be good for our show. So don't engage in race baiting, calling people names, talking about other casters is not cool because, frankly, I'm not responsible for some guy who's got something growing on his head. I have no idea what the problem is. It was not uploaded to YouTube because they're censoring us, 403. And that's why I was very upset today. I play music that is free of any copyright violations. Everything we play oftentimes is being manufactured on equipment that's using loops that are copyright free. But for some reason, YouTube is so out of it that they actually allowed some of those people who had those loops to record this as their property, even though it's been licensed out to everybody who uses them. And they turn around and make it impossible for the broadcaster to re-upload their video. Which, you know, I've got to jump through 5 or 6 hoops every time my video gets knocked off, simply because somebody had 6 seconds of video that they claim, or audio that they claim was theirs. The law specifically states, the Digital Millennium Copyright Law Act specifically says that I have up to 25 seconds of legal time to play any tune. But you think that translates into something Google does? I'll be uploading it to a lot of different sources. We're going to be looking at various venues as the internet becomes more and more censored. That's the nice thing about the internet. It was designed to take on the battle of censorship. YouTube is all automated flagging now, yeah. And with the advent of Trans-Pacific Partnership, the signing of that is a big mistake. I'm against it for that reason alone. It's going to affect the freedom to share information and the elements of net neutrality that we have come to love, which helps the internet grow and helps the economy. But no, these people don't understand that. They want to just keep clamping down on everybody. I know the YouTube has computers listening, not humans, and that's why I'm facing this constant problem. And I don't like it. So we're going to be looking at other upload opportunities as well as YouTube. We'll keep YouTube, of course, but we're just going to keep other backup sources as well, so we can constantly maneuver around it. The reality is they're never going to be able to monetize YouTube. YouTube Red, $9.99 a month. Hello? Does anybody have any money to spend? Okay, 294, I'm going to ask you to be, a little bit more delicate in the way you call people names. You're calling him a racist. People can come in and be a racist if they want. I'm not banning people for purging people for being a racist. You're calling him names. You're denigrating him. He's a supporter. Yeah. I'm going to focus on the green movement. It's better for everybody. So tonight we're going to talk about a brand new approach to solving the Earth's problems. One of the things that we're planning on doing is developing renewable energy resource-based solutions like a maglev, where the American people develop it, not the Chinese. Obama and Clinton, they're talking to the Chinese about coming into our country and bringing all these national Chinese in and forcing us to build this incredible maglev they claim is going to be fantastic from LA to New York to Las Vegas. LA to Las Vegas is I don't need Chinese workers to do that. We have Americans that would love to be building that and be trained in that. You see, the problem is our country has lost the mindset of training its own people, of coming up with its own solutions. So we've got solutions, renewable energy solutions that are mind-boggling. I mean, look at this idea that we have. I came up with this in 2008, where we create windmills that can be put on any single wind pole or electric pole anywhere in the country. This is millions of electric poles that can generate electricity. This is an opportunity to create these Savonius vertical windmills and put them up everywhere, and having them run day and night. 5-mile-per-hour winds can start these things up. If we want to build a maglev rail train, let's build one where we actually pay for it as we go. So we came up with this idea over at our previous name, Cool Rock, the maglev wind farm, where we create wind power and electricity from solar panels that generate electricity, which is monetized, which creates money, which then gives us the ability to build a few more miles of track, instead of just setting up a budget of $25 billion and giving it to the Chinese. So these are real ideas that can pay for themselves, but no. Our government just sits around and tries to sell itself off as it goes. People like Chris Christie selling businesses or selling government edifices to finance the New Jersey debt load that they've acquired. I mean, this is not the way our country should be financing its growth, by selling itself off. All right. Yeah, it's a cool idea. It can help build the tracks 1 mile at a time in small increments. I do have actual blueprints, yes. In fact, I've got blueprints to things that would blow your mind. Interstellar time-space traveling device that can go millions of miles an hour using a tachyon generator. The problem is I can't get my blueprints to be read by an engineer because they were written by an autistic savant. I met this poor guy about 5 years ago, and he wrote these blueprints, which I have in a security lockbox, where I put them in a lockbox. No, they're not patented. This is a tachyon generator that the guy gave me, and he said, hey, I'm dying. Hold on to him for me. I said, great. And he showed me how it worked. I would love to take calls if you want to talk to me. If you want to call 707 your ATP. I'm available. Yeah, but I'm not going to go take these plans were written in chicken scratch and take them to Lockheed Martin or Boeing and say, hey, yeah, this guy, has a tachyon generator and he's ability to travel through space using ion generation. They're going to go, what? Yeah. There's a guy down at Denny's 3 a.m. You can sit there. He's drinking coffee every morning, and he's got perpetual motion machines. They don't want to hear from a guy like me with these chicken scratch drawings I have. So I have to attain the presidency in order to take these drawings and hand them gingerly over to people at key industry areas that can actually make these things work. We're talking about levitation here. No, I'm not into that. I don't go to strip joints. Number one, the cover charge is never worth the money. I mean, what, $15 to sit there and watch people strip? The guy was a savant. I met a savant and he died. I think he died. Pretty sure he died. Yeah, it's one of those strange moments in life where you're walking down the aisle of Ace Hardware and you hear some guy going, you have any O-rings for my tachyon generator? And I'm going, what? So I'm like, listen to this guy. It's like, yeah, I'm building this spaceship, but I'm gonna. So I'm like talking to him, and I got to know him. It was a really kind of a nice experience. And he started feeding me these blueprints. Holy God! Then he told me something even more disturbing. He said that he had met 2 women when he was 17 years old that were butt naked, totally naked, blonde. I said, well, were they good looking? He said, I don't know, but they were hovering 3 inches above me. I said, so you met 2 women that were hovering? They were time travelers. Really? Hovering 3 inches above the ground, 2 women butt naked. And what did they tell you? They told me that I created the team time-space traveling continuum device. Really? And they wanted to thank me because no one had ever been able to travel through time, and they came back to tell me. And I'm going, okay, really? So yeah, he was some sort of an autistic savant guy who he used to work for the Navy. He was an electrical engineer, and he had all these wild drawings, and I just thought that was kind of interesting. So thank goodness banks have locked boxes. He had something wrong with him. Oh, he'd actually died prior to meeting me. He had died for 6 minutes and then had come back to life, and they gave him a bypass. Then he lived about a year later, just long enough to give me these prints. You have wild drawings too, I know. How many of you actually have drawings of spaceships? Dave, is this guy that you're talking about you? No, 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 I don't speak in third person. David would never do that. Right, David? That's right. Well, I didn't have to prove it. Ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead. I'm not the Grim Reaper. Do I look like a grim guy? I mean, do you think the Grim Reaper would have a nice smile on his face going, hey, how are you? Not at all. You have wild drawings of spaceships. Well, I have those too when I was like 8 years old, like 6 years old. I remember drawing, I remember writing a creative story in 4th grade. And my teacher says, okay, you can write about anything you want. And at the time, it was like the beginning of Star Trek, and I was about, like 9 years old, 10 years old, I think. So I started writing about space, the infinite universe. And the 4th grade teacher walked up and he said, excuse me, but you're supposed to be writing creative writing. I said, this is creative. Well, no, not sci-fi, creative writing. Stop writing sci-fi. So I was really kind of shocked that that's the mindset of some of the teachers in our country, in our public school system. They're squashing freedom of thinking, creativity. The most important freedom of all, our ability to think of new ideas. They're not even encouraging that and cultivating that. I will help with building new bridges and new roads. Yeah. They are in terrible shape. And what we want to do, 253, is create an automated system that will actually patch and repair as it goes. Break up the concrete, reprocess it with binders and fixing agents, and lay down new macadam as it goes. Rolling down the road at like 1 or 2 miles per hour. That's what I'd love to see. There's no reason why we can't make that happen. Roads are roads. Fixing old stuff in patch meal is a lot better than setting up brand new big construction projects, which are usually milked by major contractors. And that's where our country is really getting hosed. The Democrats throw money left and right. Recently in my state, they actually produced a road that they dug up a road that was put in 7 years ago that was perfectly fine. There were no cracks in it at all. And they dug this road up and put this road in. And now it looks like the Audubon in our area. It must have cost them a fortune. Locally, in another area, another city, which is sucking property tax money left and right, this is all democratically led up here in Washington. The little Soviet Union. So they put together a $1.8 million project to dig up a sewer lift to lift sewage waste up a hill. $2 million project. Tore up a perfectly brand new road a mile long. Ripped it up completely. It was a brand new road. They just put it in. They ripped it up just to put in a septic lift. And I asked the lady in charge of public works at this local city of ours, local town, whatever. I said, was there anything wrong with the sewer lift? And they said, no, we just don't want it to break, sir. So you shut down the water system, and by the way, they cut off water for 4 days to houses in the area. They had to walk into their house and look at their poop in their toilet bowl for 4 days. Can you imagine going to the bathroom with poop from 2 or 3 days ago? They did that in order to put up a sewer lift, which wasn't even needed because there were no leaks. This is the mindset of the Democrats. Okay, are you with me? Arby's got your order wrong. There you go. Well, I got to tell you, Hammer 737 made a comment which was demoralizing, claiming that I would be foolish to think I'd ever get elected. What kind of a person would just give up while their country's sinking down a toilet? What kind of a person would just say, oh, well, I'll never get elected because I don't have lots of money like Donald Trump, so I better just give up. I don't need to ban gas. I'd rather ban Hammer. Okay, here's a good example of why our country's kind of slipping in the world theater and making mistakes. You got King Abdullah You got Vladimir Putin. You got Netanyahu in his early days. Wow, that's Netanyahu? I didn't realize that. I find that hard to believe, but whatever. And there's Obama riding his bike. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's a very funny picture. I will never give up. I don't even understand the meaning of giving up. Well, I have confidence I'll get elected too. It may take another couple decades, but hey, I'm doing pretty well for 55. I anticipate running well into my 80s. He was pretty handsome. I didn't realize that was Netanyahu. Handsome guy, yeah. And I'm not gay. All right, so Donald Trump has a problem, folks. He makes statements. We're not really sure why, but he makes statements and he forgets he made them. Now, he did an unbelievable rendition of a disabled person on camera, and then he doesn't understand why he's getting criticism for mocking a reporter. He's downright ready to sue anybody who criticizes him while he goes around making fun of people. What's wrong with that guy? You're gay? Well, you should be gay. You seem like a gay person. I swear, man, a lot of you people are so bi-curious and frustrated in your own sexuality. You never made the sexual transition in your life. That you're like manlets thinking everybody's gay around you. Especially people you're attracted to while you stroke yourself. Trump is 100% correct to mock a reporter who has a disruptive disability. Snappy, I'm not arguing whether Trump was right or wrong. I'm just saying he forgot he did. He's losing track of what he does in public. He's so unleashed. Here's that Trump gif of him impersonating the disabled person. Yep. I'm sorry, but the gif is taking time. And you can call him Jif if you want, like the peanut butter. It's interchangeable. Here we go. Somebody made a good high-quality GIF. There you go. You know, am I allowed to laugh? Am I free enough to laugh? Is that okay? Or I can be charged with a crime for laughing? I'm sorry. I love this country enough to keep doing the show every night despite all odds, 253. Happy New Day, Dave and friends. Yes, smile. Hey, Sir Mike. I thought Ben Carson was impersonating Donald Trump when he attacked that guy with a knife and the belt buckle and all that. You heard that Donald Trump wanted to be attacked by a knifer and use his belt to defend himself? I mean, I don't get this. The guy is insane and nobody seems to notice. Did you notice that he feels that women are bleeding from their eyes like Megyn Kelly? I'm sorry, but that's a little bit like psychotic delusion. It's a hallucination if he thinks she's bleeding from her eyes or whatever. And it is also indicative of what I consider an even bigger problem, which is vagina envy. Do any of you know what vagina envy is? It was originally proposed by Catherine Horney back in the 1930s. Only women bleed. Only women bleed. I didn't invent anything. I've got fantastic ideas that I'd love to put to play. But this is just taking an invention that Savonius came up with and making a simple connection. This is no invention. I mean, Savonius is an open source technology. Only women bleed. Only women bleed. Yeah, let me look up vagina envy for you. It's exactly what Trump is. And I think I named it the day that he said that about Megyn Kelly. I went out and looked up womb and vagina envy in the Wikipedia. No, you don't. You don't need to do anything. No, because a prostitute will give you AIDS like, Mr. Charlie Sheen, who's now facing unbelievable, unparalleled criticism for having unprotected sex with people. They say up to 100. That's what the tabloids are saying. Many people are like freaking out. There's a story that says he has been doing something on camera with another man, and that's going to come out pretty soon. It'll be all over the internet. Catherine Horney, one of the best psychoanalysts of our time, 1938, she made the comment that, and I'll read from the text here for Womb and Vagina Envy. This is what it's called. And so it's definitely what could be Trump's problem. I mean, he clearly has all the symptoms. Let me read from the script here. This is very good. In feminist terms, womb envy and vagina envy denote expressed anxiety that men may feel in natural envy of the biological functions of the female sex. Pregnancy, parturition, breastfeeding. Emotions which could impel their social subordination of women and to drive themselves to succeed in perpetuating their names via material legacies. And if you have any clarification, you can submit that to the wiki. So this is the real key word here, is perpetuating their name via material legacies. That is what Donald Trump is all about. That's it. That's the Trump family name. Perpetuating their names via material legacies. Money. Gaining Trump. Yeah, see? Nope. Trump is not progressive. He is, in fact, frankly, an arch right-wing neocon who supports the Federal Reserve, control a private bank, controlling our future. He's actually a person who is a shill for the Federal Reserve. And you know something? As people listen to Donald Trump make a fool of himself and continue listening to make him a fool of himself, many people are driven to the center and to the left, unfortunately. And you'll notice that Hillary doesn't comment much. Well, Donald Trump has been put into the controlled politics of America as a shill to drive votes to Hillary and to have her not have to say anything because he's filling up the news with his insane comments every day. That's what's going on. And no, he's basically engaged in what I think is an attack on our rights, our freedoms. He wants to create a bigger police state. He even stole my idea for a 1,000-mile fence, which I came up with in 2008. He came into our room in 2012 and grabbed the idea. We know because we got a person in Ustream, of all places. We never get anybody over there, named Donald Trump, and he bought his name. He's a plant, I agree. He's a shill. He's been put into the gameplay to push your vote to Hillary. But I'm here to sweep that vote up and to bring it in to the center. And nobody's backing me except the American donors who've donated here in this small little donation group. We only have a little bit of money. It's not about the money. It's about getting the message out about a third party. That's what it is. You know, I don't want a president with womb and vagina envy. It bothers me that he made comments to Megyn Kelly that were so disturbing, especially on the heels of him calling Rosie O'Donnell those names and then wondering why she was questioning him on it. This guy goes out, criticizes everybody in the world, and when somebody criticizes him, he says he's going to sue them. Yeah, I'm on record all the way back to 2008 with the 1,000-mile fence idea. That's my point. I've had the point all along. I'm the guy who knows how to finance it. When Trump was asked, who are you going to finance the fence, he said that Mexico was going to pay for it. Mexico. Oh, they're going to pay for the fence. No. The fence has always been going to be paid by the working element of prison labor, non-U.S. citizens who are currently in our prison system. They're going to be doing the hard work. And the fencing is going to come from the FEMA camps that we have around the country, because we got all this unnecessary fencing around FEMA camps. We'll rip it down and bring it to the southern border to create a lethal electric fence.
It works well around our prisons.
Somebody said put a bounty on illegal alien heads and see how fast they last. It's an interesting theory, but...
No, we're not going to kill people or put a bounty
We'd
on...
never do that.
Yeah.
We
encourage others to kill people.
We don't want a greater police state. Trump does. Now, when Trump said he wanted to date his own daughter, that was a little weird too. No. I think it's just indicative of his confused sexuality. I don't support anybody right now except myself and Sarah running for president and vice president. Exactly. He's a WWE actor. Thank you, John. Well, the problem is you can go for either one, but you're missing the point. The two-party system is destroying your chances of ever getting anything.
Sir Mike, vote for Sponheim.
We got to break out of this two-party mold, man, and build this third party. What the hell's wrong with you people? You keep falling into the same old practices of every election. Well, I got to go to Democrat or I got to go Republican. Every single time you fall into that category. Not realize that your vote is actually a waste for those two parties. They're going to continue to do nothing, lie, cheat, and steal, and pave the way for their cronies to get even more money from your tax dollars. And you don't even understand that. Break out of the two parties and build this third party right now. God, the mindset of some of these people that cling to their old ways, it just amazes me.
Thank you, Mike. Hopefully
Year
you'll
after
wake
year.
up and vote for Sponheim.
Thank
I
you.
agree. That would be great.
We got to get this third party off the ground, folks, and we're just not doing enough. We've got corporate pigs trying to vie for power because they're running out of credit. We've got a country that's borrowed too much and doesn't know how to cut spending with the two parties in place. They want to start a war in Syria. Trump wants to have a ground war in Iran. I mean, you people are not thinking.
Fortunately, they've taken this first step toward thinking by coming and watching your show.
Thank you.
So
I hate to be
thank you for
harsh
that.
on all of you. I'm not a extremely angry person in general. I really am not. I'm trying to figure out what's motivating people to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. It's not going to work. We have zone heating. We explained that to you. The whole house is like 60 degrees.
I'm trying to start a new fad, a new fashion trends. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's
Starting
fashionable.
New fashion trends.
So we have a plan to stop the arrival of refugees into the country. No refugees. One of the things we're going to do is make it almost impossible for them to survive. We're going to have a plan called Pay Americans First, and now this is not something Trump has, okay? Our plan of Pay Americans First actually prevents people who are non-U.S. citizens from siphoning money off our tax dollars. We don't give out any welfare, Section 8 housing, or anything to non-U.S. citizens, including green card holders. That's a big, huge innovation that will help our nation protect American citizens and our freedoms. So this is the plan, Pay Americans First, and we have it on our website. But the point is, nobody else has this. And we're protecting your future and the future of all the citizens of this great nation with this plan. And protect our veterans, absolutely. That's essential.
Unfortunately, the government is not, it's not an invasion because the government is opening the door and letting them come in. They're inviting them in.
Yeah. We are giving them an incentive to come in by giving them all this money. That's one of the reasons why they want to come into America. If they're going to come into America thinking they're going to be in a tent city, collecting food at the food bank, beans and rice, they're a little bit less likely to cross into the country. I'm not doing a cross-country tour because I've got over 50 death threats outstanding right now. I'm not about to risk the effort I put in all the way up to the 2016 election by putting my head out there like John F. Kennedy did and getting blown away. This isn't about fear, this is about practicality. Well, Snappy, that's the point. By allowing a terrorist to live among us, we have to increase the police state power, ergo the increasing police state. Just stop the illegal immigrants from coming in, we don't need a bigger police state. It's that simple. What is wrong with the simple logic here? You don't even understand how important it is for us to stop this illegal immigration problem. Now, I don't mean going door to door and asking with some sort of a deportation force to give me a papers. Are you a registered Muslim? No, nothing like that. Much more subdued and low key. That's not true. I have more than enough balls. I live right here where everyone knows where I live, where my records are kept. I put my name out there in 2008. That takes serious balls. That takes serious kahunas. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm just worried that this effort is going to be squashed by me getting my head blown off. What about that do you not understand?
That's a good point. 4809 says the border, one of the problems is basically all the benefits that we provide to people in our country. And if we simply say, you have to be a U.S. citizen to receive welfare benefits, that might stop a lot of people from coming into our country.
I know. I mean, it's a simple thing. Pay Americans first and they won't come in. I'm telling you. We need to send a resounding message to these illegals and whoever from any country. This is not the place you're going to be harvesting like a resource. Okay, here we have a good bumper sticker here. There is a notification now to tell the world that you're an idiot. All you have to do is put a bumper sticker on your car and you can tell the world that you are a total idiot. There you go. Thinking a corporate pig who's borrowed money for the past 20, 30 years just to survive is somehow going to save a nation that's borrowed money for the past 20 or 30 years. It's so funny. I mean, they go to the biggest borrower and beggar on earth to seek help from borrowing and begging. Wow. I have to look something up real quick. Hang on.
No, David doesn't mention the fact that you can donate. I tend to do that, but David doesn't usually do it.
I'm not about money. I've been trying to explain that to people. Your donations aren't coming in because I don't seem to ask you for donations. Yeah, this is in 1989. Something happened.
Hello, Ronnie. Hello. Pardon?
In 1989, something happened at the Trump Plaza. I want to read a little story about what happened. A copter crash killed 3 aides of Trump in 1989. Five people, including 3 high-level executives of Donald Trump's 3 casinos in Atlantic City, were killed yesterday when their helicopter crashed in Pinewoods on the Garden State Parkway. Moments before the helicopter plunged in the parkway's wooded median, its main overhead 4-blade rotor and its tail rotors broke in the body of the craft, the state police said.
So the rotors broke off?
Yeah. It could have been fractures. It could have been planned. They were the people, the executives, that were part of one of his key #1 bankruptcies.
And 8 minutes earlier, the pilot was in radio contact, and the pilot did not suggest anything was amiss.
Right.
No reports of any radio distress calls from the helicopter. A spokeswoman said that NTSB had opened an investigation. The transmission separated from the craft.
Yeah, that's planned. That's not something that happens in a normal helicopter. Okay, we have a couple things from
Wow.
that we can bring in. Thank you.
So all these chief executives at his casinos were killed, 3 of them.
3 chief executives, on high-level executives. These are the ones that were involved in his #1 bankruptcy.
That's very interesting.
And I want to say one more thing, that he was going to be on that helicopter, and he didn't make it. Just so you know. So if there was ever a time when people had to die that knew too much, 1989 was the pivot point for Donald Trump.
We are independent. We're not right. We're not left. We're right in the middle.
Right in the center.
Spectrum.
Now, we have fairly right-wing positions. I brought up the 1,000-mile fence in 2008. I was the first person in America to discuss it publicly. I've been talking about building the fence since 1995 with my father. Even before the Reform Party talked about it, I was talking about it with my father. The fact of the matter is, we all will agree that a fence will protect our nation from an onslaught of growing population, immigration crisis that's enormous in our country and getting worse every day. And We have to deal with all this adversity that Donald Trump doesn't have to deal with. Every night when we do our show, we have people hating on me nightly. And Donald Trump gets people hating on him a little bit in the news, and he freaks out. He says he's going to sue them, while he is going out criticizing everyone from Carla Fiorini's face and how she looks. I mean, what kind of a statement is that? To talking about all kinds of negative things that are just low-ball techniques that a politician rarely ever does. He does it all the time. Well, he did steal my ideas. Absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, if you get a corporate pig to run your country, you, being average Americans, aren't going to get squat. How do you think these people got all this money? By being donators and egalitarians and philanthropists? No. They got it by scratching, and sniffing, and stealing, and bottom dwelling, and skimming off the top of every exploited worker in their company.
So usually, what's interesting, that Trump usually has a fleet of commuter helicopters for his executives, but that particular helicopter have been leased from Paramount.
They leased a helicopter from another source. Normally they had a fleet. They put him on a leased helicopter, and he sent his top 3 executives for a company that was going bankrupt on a bye-bye plane, which he was going to be on. Yeah, dead people don't tell tales. Yeah. I'm trying to explain to you that there's a lot of darkness in the Trump background. Hang on.
I'm just going to post this link.
I just did it earlier.
Oh, David already posted the link.
Sir Mike, you're on warning here. If you continue promoting Trump, I will ban you from the show. Just flat out telling you. Many of you don't understand that this is a really serious situation where people have bought our country's political movement for so long, these corporate pigs, that they think they can just do it all the time. And look at the brain-dead libtards and Obama-tards and Trump-tards who come in here and don't even understand how completely corrupt our system is and how they're falling right into it like a bunch of mindless gnomes.
You need to be promoting David if you're going to be in this room.
Yeah, if you do that one more time, you're out of here. All I'm saying, no, I didn't say it was set up by Trump. I'm just saying it looks more and more like there's some nefarious activity back in 1989 that led to his first bankruptcy, and then three others. 4 total bankruptcies, all of which were bailed out by the Federal Reserve. That means he has a lot of people to pay back. You know what that means? That means he's just like Barack Obama. It's called political payback, and these people never get anything done. They never exact any real change in our country. They always just do what their cronies tell them to do, just like your Barack Obama. I don't need mods. We're doing great without mods. We used to have all kinds of mods, but everyone was jealous of each other.
Yes, David goes out and meets with people all the time.
Oh yeah, today we were all over Walmart. We went to the Black Friday sale at Walmart and Home Depot. We bought things at both locations. We got some good deals.
Yeah, very good.
And I was shocked to see a $279 50-inch LED 1080p TV for $279 that nobody was buying. Was that shocking?
Yeah.
They had like 20 or 30 of these incredible 50-inch TVs and nobody was buying them.
Yeah. We saw somebody buying a smaller Sony TV.
One guy was getting a 40-inch Sony for more money than the $279. I felt like walking up to him going, "What are you doing?" But I didn't bother. It's like people can make their own decisions, right?
Thanks, Sir Mike.
Well, no, the position of the president is not just a puppet, 344. When you look at all the historical great presidents we've had, like Andrew Jackson, Teddy Roosevelt, if you called Teddy Roosevelt a puppet, he would have kicked your ass. Seriously. You've only had a string of puppets since the New World Order gained control of our country in 1980. But it's up to you, the voter, to start taking the New World Order and sending them packing back to the UN and back to the World Bank, where they came from. We didn't mind shopping on Black Friday, but I got to tell you, I was on extra alert, looking for everybody walking up to me. I would say that the level of physical activity was way higher than normal. Believe me, I understand all about quality in TV buying. I used to buy TV spots.
No, busy. Did you?
Teddy Roosevelt was a man who stopped the railway industry from screwing over this country and gouging us with predatory practices. Teddy Roosevelt was the man who instigated all this protection for national parks around the country. Without Teddy Roosevelt, our country would never have gained the greatness that it had acquired in the 1900s. I mean, you got to look at the Industrial Revolution as being Teddy's baby. And I've got good news for you.
What?
I look just like Teddy Roosevelt when he was younger.
I know.
It's amazing.
Before he grew a beard.
Well, when he was a young
mustache.
man. I mean, if I was an older
Go
man.
to the images.
Yeah.
Young. Go to young. Right there where it says young. That's what you look
This
like.
is how I looked when I was his age. Now, I don't have a beard or anything, but
See that
this
one?
is a young one. This is like 18 years old. But
Doesn't that look like David? I think
it's almost uncanny, I think, the color, the quality of...
You catch more flies that way. I don't know what you catch with vinegar. I know you can do a lot of good cleaning with vinegar.
Yes, you can.
Well, I would say also, what are you willing to, you can actually just, there you go. You can just have a TV, it's fine. See, it does look so much like you. It's true.
Yes, it does. All right, so we need another Teddy Roosevelt. It's been established.
There you go, Sir Mike. Must be great looks. Yeah, but it can lead to peeling. Snappy Smurf.
Hey, where's the Fonz? Yeah. I'm wearing my leather jacket today to stay, fairly warm in my zone-heated house. Well, I don't need to look at the best-selling
Here,
TV
that
brand.
one too.
Oh yeah. This is when he just started wearing a beard. Oh, he hadn't grown a mustache yet.
You just started. But yeah, I'd say definitely. It's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who is that twin? Teddy Roosevelt.
Well,
Theodore Roosevelt.
we're all too young to know if Teddy Roosevelt really, was the guy but he was a living legend. And I don't think anybody, when he tried to create the Bull Moose Party, he failed because he failed to take the presidency 2 terms in a row. It was one of his biggest mistakes. One of my biggest mistakes was giving up the presidency on my 2nd term. And he was unable to get it back because there was a serious backlash from the Wilson group. And Wilson and the progressives gained control and ended up making the worst possible deal with the bankers ever. Had Teddy Roosevelt been the president, they never would have made the Federal Reserve Banking Act into law. And Woodrow Wilson made that mistake. Yeah, he made the mistake of signing that paper. In fact, Woodrow Wilson said it was the biggest mistake of his life right before he died. So allowing private bankers to have a private central bank in our country pretty much opened the door to all this corruption that we have today.
It wasn't illegal at the time for Battletoad, so it was actually an amendment to the Constitution to limit the presidency to 2 terms.
Yeah.
Before that amendment came about, presidents were simply reelected every 4 years, and they could run forever. But yeah, that amendment, and mainly that amendment was all about Franklin Roosevelt, because people loved him so much they just kept voting for him.
Yeah, and Franklin, you can attribute a lot of the love that people had for him to, you guessed it, Teddy. Teddy pretty much carried the Franklin message throughout the whole process. So we are now going to guest off. For all of you who are unable to chat, you can get a real account. I have one other thing in common with Teddy Roosevelt. He was a very sick child, and I was a very sick child too. I've never had any sickness as an adult. It's kind of strange. Well, I've had a couple of stomach flu issues, but
Can I get rid of that one?
You don't like it? Oh, because it's a picture of a kid?
No, it's just in my way.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
But I was sick as a child too. I had a lot of illnesses. My sister ended up sneezing right on me when I was born. As soon as the baby was brought home, she put her face right up to me and sneezed right on me. And basically, put me in a situation where I had cold after cold after cold, and I got all kinds of resistance because of that to a lot of the illnesses that most people have today. It's a very similar thing that happened to him, actually. So we have a very similar background. Black Friday overload, really? You're reeling from it. Okay, we've got U.S. shoppers go wild, beating each other up for best values in America. The videos are in, everybody. You want to play them?
Wow.
And here we're going to have a peaceful...
Well, do you want to take a break?
I do, yeah. You can do whatever you want. I'll play them in just a bit. Thank you.
Okay, I was just going to take these off for a moment. Where's the other one?
You can just go to the page and just get rid of it. You can be in favor of refugees. I don't care. Feel free. Just go ahead and allow the whole country to be taken over. That's nothing. No big deal there.
I'm in favor of taking care of Americans. I'm definitely in favor of that. I'm in favor of our country. Okay. I wonder, I think I'm gonna have to hit refresh on this site because that doesn't have anything or something. It's not really loading. Wow, Noble Watchman. He was able to confiscate Americans' gold by declaring the American people as enemies to the state. Wow. We live in the taken over lands. What is it taken over by? What about your ex-wife, Drag King? Or the mothers of your children? All of them. Are they still beautiful and gorgeous? Wow. It has a video showing a fist fight over Black Friday deals, and it looks like they're buying TVs. Brawls and punches. So ridiculous. There may be a shift. Moments ago, IBM Watson Trend released the latest Thanksgiving online sales, which rose from 26% from 2014, with mobile traffic reaching nearly 60% of all online traffic, an increase of 14.8% over 2014. 40% of all online sales came from mobile devices. Interesting. One of them wants you back, but you say no. Is that the 60-year-old's mom? You just don't. You're like, never mind. You just move on. Anyway. Yeah, it would be a stress for getting the last Xbox. Crazy. They camp out at Best Buy for 8 hours to save $100 on a cheap Chinese Vizio TV. I know, that's crazy. Oh. She's the one with two of your other kids. Okay. Thanks, Spectra. Yeah, that was one of the things when you talk about the savings amount, Battletoad. I was looking at certain prices today, and then what really prevented me from buying a few things was like what were the savings. I'm glad that they did publish that on the Walmart ad. It was like, you save $18. It's like, ooh, wow, if I buy it today. So I was just like, no, I don't really need that. Alright, maybe I will let my hair down. What are the 10 planks of that Noble Watchman? I don't even know. Oh, you're funny. Democrats are lazy. All Fridays matter, not just Black Friday. There we go. Yeah, it was pretty cool, like going out to Black Friday sales and seeing what was up, what was going on there. I don't plan on having children, Spectra. I plan on influencing children and letting children know they are loved and they should believe in themselves, and advising children, but not actually having my own genetic reproduction. Yes, unless of course somebody figures out how to clone things, and then that way we can see if my clone would really be like me. Very pretty. I think you tell all the girls that, Drag King. Ridiculing shoppers in line.
Uh-oh. Oh no, the open sign's on. Uh-oh. You zombies are the reason that Thanksgiving and holidays are being destroyed!
Oh, okay, I'll put this over here. It's not your job to love other people's children? Well, it might not be your job. That's why I'm here. Oh, I'm sorry, Drag King. Have passed laws implementing these anti-freedom concepts. Oh, okay. And, oh wait. A progressive income tax is one of the planks. There 10 planks. First plank, abolition of property in land and the application of all rents of land to public purposes. Interesting. Well, which they all do have property taxes. So that's how it is. Oh, I'm so sorry, Drag King. I'm sure you did. No guest chat on today. Second plank, a heavy progressive graduated income tax, which we have. Third plank, abolition of all rights of inheritance. Oh yes, the estate tax, that's true. Confiscation of the property of all immigrants and rebels. Oh, interesting. Oh, I got these glasses about a year ago, Terrapin. Thanks for noticing. Well, it's all about, I don't know where the red and black comes from, but it goes back to businesses. If they're in the red, they're in debt. If they're in the black, then they're making money and they're making a profit. And they call it Black Friday because usually it takes that one day. Like a company can be suffering in the red for like the whole year, but the sales from that one Friday after Thanksgiving finally put them in the black, in the ability to make a profit. Yep, they have a national bank. That's true. Centralize the means of communication and transportation in the hands of the state, Federal Radio Commission, Federal Communications Commission, Air Commerce Commission, heavy investment in Google and Facebook. yes. You like them how they're mostly wire, but there's no wire under here. Yeah, thank you. You would think it would be called Green Friday, like they're finally making a profit. Maybe we should make a thing. Change it to Green Friday. Or Blue Friday. Because you think they would write with a red pen and a blue pen. Extension of factories and instruments of production owned by the state. The bringing of cultivation of wastelands into cultivation of wastelands and the improvement of the soil generally in accordance with a common plan. Department of Agriculture, Tennessee Valley Authority. True. Equal liability of all to labor, but they don't have the equal liability of all to labor because they have the welfare that they give people that don't do any labor. Thank you very much, Terrapin. Oh, you remember the old, big old goggles, Drag King? Yes, these are better than those. When I said, I'm gonna change everything. And I am. I'm still on that goal. Just, it might not exactly be it. I'm still on that plan. That's true. I believe in, you're right, Sponheim Scorpion. Do live your own life. Well, don't hire a whole bunch of people in your own business until you actually have enough profit to hire someone. Spectra, if you're going to start your own business, be prepared to do every single job that your business requires. Every single job. Oh, very interesting, Noble Watchman. Yes. Oh, yes, true. The big thing with free education is to educate them the way they want to be educated. My cheekbones are perfect. I like my cheekbones. 3 more today in Colorado shootings. I wonder if they're related to people trying to get marijuana. I don't like to teach history sometimes because I like to well, it's true, Spectra. You put in, when you own a business, you put in huge amounts of labor, huge amounts of capital, huge amounts of everything. And yes, Spectra is right. You do end up being poor unless you happen to have luck on your side and happen to, it just happens that you have a good idea and it goes viral, but it's not. Usually it is a very difficult road to hoe if you're going to own your own business. How about that, Spectra? Pacific, what about Planned Parenthood? Oh, and where can you get the real history from, though? A Noble Watchman isn't, in a way, though, isn't history subjective? I mean, I do like history and I like studying history when I became an adult, but it's difficult because, you know, the education teaches one thing and or doesn't teach, like sometimes because teaching what the state wants you to believe or whatever. And so I guess you have to get multiple perspectives and find those things from your grandparents, from archaeology, not his story or her story, but actually doing some research. That would be good. I think sometimes research is difficult, especially with the advent of the internet, because just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's real. And even the whole idea, like, oh, if you find 3 collaborating sites or 3 collaborating sources, maybe that would make it more valid. But having those collaborating sources doesn't necessarily make things valid, because you could have 3 people saying things that aren't the truth. Peanut butter will be tasty, abnormal. Go eat some peanut butter. No, Pacific's not going to happen. I don't want to do that. Oh, is that why we're continuing to allow the population to grow? Okay. Oh, this is a Colorado shooting probe. Oh, it was shooting it from Planned Parenthood. 3 dead and the suspect has been captured. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Dash Hazard, that's a big problem when only the winners write history. Yes, that is a big problem. I say history has many, many, many perspectives. I did who was that used to write these? I'm getting rid of that thing.
At this hour, police are carefully processing the scene at the Planned Parenthood.
Okay. I would say, so your grandparents came from late 1800s and early 1900s, and they told you awesome stories of how things were, especially in the Old West. That must have been very cool. You should probably write stories, Noble Watchman. Write down all of the histories that your grandparents told you. That would be fantastic. Write down all that you can remember that they told you. I mean, that would make a great history book. I have to think. Gray? Three guilty in a fake ambulance drugs smuggling case. Wow. What is that? That's got to be fake, Beekman. A Dutchman has been found guilty today of smuggling drugs in the UK using an ambulance. 2 other men pleaded guilty while a 4th man was cleared. Wow. That is amazing. Your grandfather went from a horse and buggy to men in space in his lifetime. That is so cool. You're writing a novel, The Red Sands of Time. Ooh, I would love to read that. That would be cool. The Red Sands of Time. Ooh, very cool. Yeah, I know, Dash Hazard. It's so, I was talking to David yesterday about, that I read about Thanksgiving, I guess last year was when I really read some of the true history of it. And I can't, it's very difficult for me to teach, oh, Thanksgiving, we all got along. And the whole Pocahontas story, it was so wonderful. When I actually have read that there was so many times that the Europeans killed natives, and every time they did, they called it a Thanksgiving. Ugh. Your grandfather on your mother's side, his land was given to his father, who was a foreman for Mr. Loving, a famous Old West rancher, and each foreman was given the foreman's house and a section of land. Wow. And how many foremans were there? Oh, and Lonesome Dove was loosely based on Mr. Loving and Mr. Goodnight from Texas. That's so cool. I do have family. I came from somewhere. And you were born on the land. Oh, that is awesome, Noble Watchman. Thank you, Gonzo River. Yeah, so anyway, it's... you know, there's so much. And then I just heard last night, I think it was last night, maybe it was a couple nights ago. No, anyway, I was actually listening to the Saul Khan book I'm listening to on tape. And they talk about education, and they talk about how, you know, our education, especially history, is not really rich. Like they talk about here in America when we talk about the Louisiana Purchase, for instance,
Right.
and how we're like, oh, we got a great deal. And it doesn't go to why the deal was so great. And it, you know, that goes to world history, and like Napoleon wanted money he wanted some quick cash to keep funding his wars over in Europe, one, and secondly, he just had this huge battle and lost a lot of his like ocean going vessels. So even if he wanted to defend Louisiana, it would have been very difficult for him to do so. So he would have been using resources. So he said, "Oh, I'll just sell it to America. Win-win for him.
Yeah.
You know, to keep doing his reign of fighting overseas, or in Europe, I should say, overseas." So anyway, that was pretty interesting, and it's just that when you teach history, I think it's difficult sometimes to teach history because the older you get there, you find out there's so many different sides to history, and everybody has different perspective. And especially then when you hear about the possibility, even just the possibility that some of what you see on mainstream media may not be the truth, that maybe certain stories are being created.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes out like, oh, well, obviously certain stories are definitely being created because, I mean, the government itself said the Gulf of Tonkin was something that they created. So if they created that story, what's to stop them from creating other stories as well?
That's exactly
and
why people...
why do we, just believe everything we hear and all? So it's more about like teaching people to find the research themselves and to find out things. But like I say, I also don't believe in I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, so I don't believe everything I read online either.
Well, I personally believe that when you take on issues like conspiracy issues, you are constantly keeping yourself in check because you don't want to feel alienated. You don't want to be a person who's going to talk about the opposite of what normal mainstream media opinions should be. So there's this bias that anybody who comes up with a theory is instantly a whack job. And that's a product of a very simplistic, ignorant mindset of liberal people who believe that you can't actually question anything.
And I don't know if it's necessarily questioning things, but it's more of people don't like to, I would say for me, as someone that's like that, I guess, is it's more of it's uncomfortable for me to question things that I have adapted in my own mindset as being true and my own belief system.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start saying things that make me question my belief system,
Yeah.
it's
Troublesome.
It's so troublesome that I actually get very angry.
Yeah. It's
about
a
it.
a guttural reaction.
It
because
is a guttural
You're
reaction.
clinging to the belief that Big Brother is going to take care of you, and that somehow the government cares and would never lie to us. And it's hard to separate from the belief that our government would possibly lie to us.
As people say, it creates a dissonance inside of us.
Sure, and a lot of you are going through that.
It's partially people don't like to be lied to, and so either they feel like you're lying to them, which is the easiest way to think of it,
Mm-hmm.
or they think that they've been lied to in the past,
Right.
and it's hard to
They
make
feel
a
bad.
connection. Like, who's telling the truth, and
Yeah.
why can't I figure this out?
I
And,
know.
and also,
Yeah.
it's an anger at oneself if they come to believe that you're correct. If you are saying something opposite to what people believe in,
Mhm.
if they come to actually agree with you, then they feel like angry. I feel angry at myself for being so gullible as to be lied to. So it's easy for me to not. I mean, for me, I think I try to delve a little deeper sometimes, but sometimes it's just easier just to shut it down and not delve deeper and not believe what certain theorists say.
Yeah, well, and you haven't. Sarah has not been on the same rabbit hole tour as I have over the past 7 years, because I've had more time in the evening to follow up all the links that people have sent me, who are extremely concerned about the
I do tend
veracity of their government.
I actually do tend to believe that certain conspiracy theorists jump on the fact that anything that happens must be some kind of government creation.
No, I never said that. I actually believe that the government are unwitting dupes in this whole process. The government are just bureaucrats filling a space. There's not much going on in their heads. They don't realize they have a higher commission as employees of the government. They don't realize they are the ones that have to check and balance and monitor their own mistakes. And I think far too many government employees are oftentimes part of the problem, because they are just like the IRS workers out there who just, well, if I didn't do it, somebody else would, right? If I didn't screw you over, somebody else. They have a lot of entitlement. They're just obstacles to the real problem. The real problem is a political issue involving the American people waking up to what's happening and how we have been lied to in the past. And you can look down any rabbit hole to find all the proof you need, because it's there. And how we're going to deal with preventing the government from becoming corrupt in the future, or remaining corrupt at present. We have a lot of problems there, and the two parties will never correct that problem because they're steeped in it. They can't get out of the stew that they're making in their own juices. The Democrats want to cling to their own power. They'll do anything to do that. They'll lie, cheat, and steal, like in the last election when my signs were stolen. They're willing to cheat and steal to retain power. That's how much they're clinging to their status quo. So when someone questions the status quo, we're really questioning the mechanism that's leading to the disaster we call our economy. America in the decline, and has been for some time now. And we have to face up to the fact that we've made mistakes under the two parties, and people aren't willing to do that. So when I built this third party and I got all this information from all the different sources on the internet, from people that were credible and pursuing their own tracks on the internet to find out information, I have actually distilled out and refined some of the most impressive minds and theories in the country. And it pops up on our Monday and Tuesday show, but I don't let those interfere with every other show necessarily. This is Freedom Friday. It happens to be a conspiracy theory issue, where our freedoms are being taken away from us systematically by a system that is pushing our nation into a global world order, which is a move very much created by monetary elitists outside of our country. Not our country leading its destiny, but someone else pulling our strings and buying us off. So I'm literally going after the very mechanism by which they're using corruption to control the destiny of this country. I'm using the techniques that I've learned through hours of review and knowledge from people about the very architecture of this corruption, and you guys are going, that's just not true. You're a whack job. That's kind of wacky.
Thank you for being honest, Battletoad.
So I have a very, very big incline, even greater because of all the wrenches thrown in my way. The wrenches are the doubting Thomases that doubt everything. Now that you got people that just say, oh no, there's a picture here I have of a woman throwing firecrackers into a cafe where she claims to be hiding from gunfire. And we see her hand literally tossing the firecrackers into the window of the Paris Cafe because she's a crisis actor and she's paid to do this. And that's the telltale sign of a very, very deep deception that has been put over the American people's eyes.
Let's see that video.
Sure. No, I'll be glad to show it to you. Sarah, we have a... Scissor Fight probably has it on his link. He put a close-up of it. It's really good. It's amazing. But let me show
So
all
we can
history.
go to youtube.com and
I'm just going to try Paris real quick. Hang on. Here it is. That should do me. Okay, let's take a look at yeah. Scissor Fight was kind enough to take the entire close-up of the video and play it for us and really focus on the image you're going to see is the woman who's throwing it through an open window that's already been blasted open. You're going to see her throw those firecrackers through that window. Now, you'll see it over and over again on the screen. Throws it right there, see it? Goes right in, and then she comes right in, see? And then hides. And then others follow. These are firecrackers being thrown everywhere. They're like little blast bombs. And they look like gunfire, but you'll see it again. He replayed it. See? Tossed, and you can see that it tossed right inside. See? Boom. Very close. Right there. And it's tossed right inside. What is she putting through the window, I ask you? All of you doubting Thomases, what is she throwing in the window right there? What would she possibly be throwing in the window besides the very thing that lights up right in front of the camera? The firecrackers. Thank you, Scissor Fight. And for all of you guys, you can copy that video and show your friends.
There's something that happens before she throws that.
Let me give you a little background on her. She supposedly has a wrist injury, bleeding from the wrist, supposedly, because she took a gunshot from an AK-47 or a Kalashnikov or some such thing. So she's supposedly bleeding from the wrist, and there's actually a picture of her grabbing the banister. Now everyone knows if you get shot in the wrist with an AK, you're not going to be grabbing a banister with that arm. So everything about her doesn't measure up. And throwing those firecrackers in is the red herring that many of you are unwilling to accept. It clearly was a firecracker. Thank you, Scissor Fight. There's no manipulation in the video either. That's a source from multiple angles and multiple sources. So many of you who are clinging to the belief that there are no such things as conspiracy theories, I have to ask you, have you, in your mind, wildest mind, ever thought that there could be a conspiracy theory? Like maybe our president got his head blown off by somebody other than Lee Harvey Oswald? You think? And sure enough, 90% of the American people believe that there was more than one assassin that killed our great president, John F. Kennedy. Now, this happened in my lifetime, and I can assure you this is a very, very serious problem if I don't see remedy to it. What point is a lifetime of living in a mindset of a delusion that we're somehow living in a free and democratic country run by nice people who really care? And that's why the people out there are questioning what they're seeing right now, because they really are running it over a series of battery of reviews and litmus tests to analyze every single aspect of video. And the thing about these things, Sarah, is we've only seen a little bit of video on an incident that allegedly killed 129 people. Or they're saying 130 now. But very little video. No faces damaged, killed. Everyone's laying down neatly with no blood around them in the pictures. And when we take a look at those pictures, they seem very, very strange. The only picture we've seen of the Bataclan Theater or concert hall has been one single shot, not multiple. So the questions continue to persist in this yet another event that somebody says is a reason to start a war. And many people are just going, no. This is all, we're being played. We're being manipulated into starting a war, which we don't want to do. And there's no reason for it. Because we don't have anything to gain from, we do not have anything to gain from attacking Syria or engaging Russia. Nothing at all. Nothing. Everything that's been going on over the past few years has been kind of sending us in the wrong direction, pissing off Putin, and engaging in a war of words with China is not going, we're not moving together as multiple nations working toward the same goal, a better planet. Something's got to change in this paradigm. Anyway, I don't need to go on into my own tangent, which I do every night, but your concerns are well taken, and I must tell you, I have gone through the same path that you've taken, or taking, or maybe aren't going to take. And I can tell you that path is difficult. I was asked about fluoride back in 1985. A lady talked to me on the phone. She says, do you think fluoride's bad for you? Do you think it's dangerous, lowers your brain activity? I said, no, fluoride's great. It prevents cavities. In your water, so may it. And it helps your teeth. I said the same thing you guys are saying right now. I did.
At this hour, police are carefully processing this scene at the Planned Parenthood facility. They are looking for additional possible...
A gunman is in custody, okay. But I went down that road and I realized that, okay, I actually wrote the Clean Water Quality Association, the Water Quality Association, and they sent me letters saying, oh yes, you're from Norway, hello, good evening. They sent me letters saying everything's fine, water's good. And then when I started really looking into the history of fluoride and then checked this background, I found out, oh my God, they'd brought fluoride in to kill rats. The FDA didn't test it because they thought it was perfectly in our environment already. There's no need. They grandfathered fluoride in. Oh, I'm telling you, fluoride can lower your IQ. It's an amazing event that occurs. If you drink fluoride on a daily basis, you'll walk around and start to mumble and babble and
Wow.
Try it. Yeah, we're working on the proof, Kylo. It may take as long as it takes Barack Obama's birth certificate to be revealed. I'm still working on it. I have it stored away. I have to transfer to a PDF. I'm trying to get a chance for other people to take my IQ exam, so I want to make it public so you guys can take it. You wait all you want. You go buy yourself a new toy at the sex shop. That'll keep you busy. Oh, I'm sure you do. They just wait for my Cume folder to be opened up. It's right there. It was taken in my junior year in high school, my English honors class. I'll never forget the day, actually. Blinding headache. One of the problems with taking tests, I dislike tests, is it causes me to think too hard, too intensely. It's like, I don't know if you realize this, but your brain is a muscle of sorts. It's also a battery. So when you're working on a chess game and you're putting your brain into it, it's actually burning energy and it's dangerous to your health. I urge people to stop thinking too much. Try to cut back your thinking process. It's hurting your head to think. You notice how hard it is to think?
So in Colorado, you heard about this Planned Parenthood shooting?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
3 people are dead. 1 is a police officer. 9 other people are, 1's a police officer, 2 are civilians.
Yeah.
9 other people were rushed to the hospital. 5 police officers, 4 civilians. Yeah. And they finally have the suspect in custody after a 6-hour standoff.
Well, I can attest this is a serious thing, and I
think
probably
those shootings real.
I do. I think all these shootings are real right up the front. You remember when I responded to the Paris shooting, I was like, oh my God. I'm always right up there to immediately say, oh, this tragic loss of life, and it's real, but at the same time, it's fake, and eventually we realize slowly. We'll wait and see if this turns out to be fake. All I can tell you is the Supreme Court ruled in favor of anyone walking into a Planned Parenthood clinic and getting close to a doctor. They said you couldn't keep people away, and the Supreme Court recently made that ruling. So whatever happened today rests on the back of the Supreme Court and their decision. They could have kept a 30-foot perimeter with security guards out there, but they basically weakened the perimeter and the defenses, a liberal court.
It doesn't say.
That's what I'm saying.
You can get rid of this.
Okay. Kylo, we're going to pull you down out of the show, but it was nice knowing you, and don't ever come back.
I wasn't going to ban him for that.
No, that's okay. I have another issue with Kylo.
Oh, okay.
Kylo is the same person who regenerates all the time. He's coming up with new permutations of his name. That we don't need. Okay, yeah. You can keep that. I want to copy that. That's pretty good. All right, thank you so much. Well, if you are concerned about the country and are obviously about how you're being watched on a daily basis, you're going to go down the road looking at how the NSA has been systematically figuring out ways to monitor our daily lives through Skype communication, software very similar to Stuxnet embedded in our computers, a greater presence on the internet. You saw one of my videos censored yesterday for no reason on YouTube by a computer. So we're seeing censorship going on all over the place. We're going to slowly, as time goes on, we're going to see this entire little window of opportunity we're seeing right now shrink to a small little sphincter in the sky. It'll be twinkle, 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 little Dave. You know, the hope of a third party will dwindle, and it'll just be a distant, and then the entire draconian, totalitarian police state will initiate takedown, martial law, depopulation of the planet. And the ultimate goal is to destroy 95% of our nation's population. Their plans are all in place. They're all set to go. And this is a conspiracy theory. Granted, you don't have to go down that road, but everything's there. Everything is in place. All of the pieces are in place for them to take down your rights, your freedoms, and lock you up, RFID chip you, and exterminate you. Everything's in place. They've already erased Posse Comitatus with the recent 2012 signing of NDAA and then 2014 signing of NDAA. That Posse Comitatus was to prevent the army from forming its own militias within our own government to be used against its own citizens. I'm doing everything to help to reverse depopulation Pacific. I'm trying to build a political party to challenge it. Hang on just a second. There you go. There we go. Thank you. What is your stance on these Syrian refugees? I have no support for refugees whatsoever. I will not allow them into the country. How do you know I'm not reproducing, Pacific? How do you know that my sperm cells aren't interlocked into the gene pool right now? How do you know that I wasn't a donor in 1980 at the Genius Pool that distributed sperm to countless lesbian women who wanted to have children? How do you know that? I know that because I didn't. They offered like $30 to do that at the time. I didn't need the money. Okay, any other questions? Let's just forget about that and move on to the next subject, which is really, why are we going to war with Syria? Anyone know?
All because of a thing to create Arab Spring, so that certain elites can control the Middle East, maybe?
That might be the reason, yeah. Elites controlling the Middle East. There's a good answer, thank you, yeah.
I mean,
Greater
I believe
Israel.
Syria didn't have a Rothschild-controlled central bank. Maybe that's why we're going to war with them.
Right. That's another issue. Zionist, Rothschild control. They want more control over every bank. They control the IMF. They control the Federal Reserve. They control 160 banks in the world. So yeah, the Rothschilds want greater control, and the New World Order is what they have created. They rebranded the monarchies into the New World Order, and now they're trying to do it. let's talk about this ISIS thing. It's basically Israel has never been attacked by ISIS, and none of the pipelines critical to Israel's financial stability and their energy sources have been disrupted whatsoever. Yet this demonized group called ISIS is being blamed for starting a caliphate, and that's another propaganda story generated about 2.5 years ago. And now we have this growing sentiment that we have to stop terrorism being pushed down our throats. That's what's going on. Well, Beekman, I'm not impressed. It's more like, had you dined with a rat, it would have been better. Dined with a rat, arrow to you, something like that. That would have been nice. We don't believe that it's right that money controls the destiny of mankind. I don't believe that there's any real reason for that to be the case, but that is the case. Wesley Clark said it nearly 20 years ago, yeah. Okay, Daily Mail is accused of paying £50,000 for closed-circuit TV video of the Paris attack. Okay. So Daily Mail is being accused of paying for this camera shot of this attack that you just saw. They acquired video that had previously been encrypted by police, and they insisted a hard drive disk was destroyed, claims the witness. So this woman who we just showed you throwing firecrackers into the restaurant is being touted by the propaganda media as the luckiest woman alive. How she survived the jihadi rampage. And it turned out the Daily Mail was paid very much, £50,000 for this, to get it from the police who had it in their surveillance cameras. So the story is almost bizarre in and of itself. This could be a lie about a lie, to cover a lie. I don't necessarily believe that story, other than, yeah, if it's being shown, it's just trying to divert the fact that this woman is clearly a perpetrator, not a victim. All right. But we can't allow religious law, like Sharia law, to force itself on us through this illegal immigration that's coming in. We cannot allow an open border. We can't allow any of these refugees in. It's just not possible. This country can't survive with refugees pouring into our border. So you, the voter, have to do something about it. And I say build this third party and get me on the ballot in your state.
Pirates off the coast of Nigeria have attacked a Polish ship, a Polish-owned cargo vessel, and kidnapped its captain and 4 crew.
Wow.
It's the first documented incident of its kind in almost a year. And that's some of the deadliest shipping lanes on earth is down there in Nigeria.
Yeah.
My hearts go out to the family of those Polish family. And
why can't they carry machine
I hope
guns?
They survive.
I know, and I hope they survive too. But why can't they carry machine guns? Maritime law prevents them.
Idea.
They should all have 50 calibers. I don't understand why all of these vessels, maritime law prevents them from having machine guns on their bow. I mean, can you believe this? It's like the maritime law system is built on the idea of piracy. They want pirates to attack people so they can collect insurance on the open waters. That's the whole scheme here. Yeah.
Also in Nigeria,
Screw
at least
that.
21 people have been killed and dozens more injured in a suicide attack targeting a Shiite Muslim march.
All right. Well, I'm at the point where, like most Americans, I'm really ready to turn it off and just say, I've had enough. But then you go to your local restaurant and you see this person who looks like a terrorist serving you with his look of hate in your eyes. I'm serious. I was at a restaurant last week where I swear this person looked like he just got off the boat from Syria. I mean it. And he looked like he could have had anything strapped on him. I mean, it was just this look of extreme fear and hate in their eyes. I don't understand it. It's not something I've seen from illegal aliens from Mexico. It was more like a glaring hatred and a resentment for our culture. And he was jealous that I had nice hair. Yeah. There's something wrong with our country that is willing to weaken its own borders without even helping its own homeless people and its own veterans. There's something really wrong. No, you have classic paranoia if you think that I'm talking about you, Pacific. I'm not. I'm going to remove you from the show if you keep this up. You're really not on a good platform tonight. You don't understand that there are people that actually want to kill you. You don't get that, do you? Wow. And you're the people, you liberals are the ones that are allowing this country to open its borders to these psycho-terrorists that are coming into our country. You're the ones. You're the perpetrators. You're nesting in my room like Pacific. Look at this guy. He's nesting in the room like a little liberal weasel, waiting to just, well, we should allow more people in to give our country more freedom. Yeah, you're the reason they're doing this. And then it takes some sort of a weird, psychotic approach to this from the far right of putting together deportation forces to make you liberals realize you're stepping all over the place on the rights of individuals in this nation. You don't have the right to take freedoms away from Americans. You didn't earn it. And just because you're clinging to the architecture of a weakened president who's a lame duck Democrat who's taken this country into a tailspin, and you cling to that power, you're going down with that guy. Yeah, all you Democrats are to blame. But Republicans, you're no better because you don't have any new ideas. You continually turn to business who seeks nothing but profit and allow monopolies to form and cronyism and greed to dominate this country. I rest my case. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you want to take a little break since you rested your case?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. So supposedly NSA's bulk collection of Americans' phone records is going to be ending on Sunday, 14 years after the counterterrorism program began in secret under George W. Bush. However, Russia Today says the NSA is beginning a new phone surveillance program as the bulk metadata collection ends. What will they be collecting from us this time? They will be ending its mass metadata surveillance program this weekend, 2.5 years after Edward Snowden's revelations that this was going on. However, don't worry, the NSA has a replacement. Reasonable compromise is far from being celebrated by privacy experts. Signed into law this past June, the USA Freedom Act requires that they're going to cease the collection of telephony, yet at the same time move ahead with a different program that was ordered at the same time. It will have to contact telecommunications companies holding the data for them. So in other words, this is NSA's way of saving money because they don't have to invest in servers. Instead, they're making the phone companies do it for them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's just, it's just the country that we're living in. It's just like, oh, well, how can we still do this but make it sound like we're not really the ones doing it? The phone companies are. And they're requiring the phone companies to do so. That way they can save the taxpayers some money. It's just crazy. So don't be surprised if your phone bill goes up so that the phone company can store your data so that the NSA can then search through it later. Oh, but don't worry. We have to have surveillance because there are Syrians coming into this country. Oh, yeah, we came into this country at some time, or at least our ancestors did. And unreal. What will you tell your children when the long, dark night of state tyranny descends upon America? Will you tell them the truth or pretend to them you did not know? Often I am silent, I have to say. I know it's sad, but I am sometimes silent on that. Operation Snowflake is now in effect. What is Operation Snowflake? Yes, it's true. I'm not laughing at you, Spectra. I'm laughing in tragedy. It's very, very tragic what's happening in this country. And yes, we can replace, we have to be willing to step up and make this country as great as it possibly can be. It's already a wonderful, great country to live in. It's fantastic. But sometimes we prefer to ignore what is going on. You can guess all you'd like, Drag King. It's just, it is very tragic. Illinois EDU has a blog. All right. Water quality in Illinois. There's now lithium in the drinking water. Potential environmental human health of impacts of rechargeable lithium batteries and electronic waste. It could be lithium batteries, or it could be they're just adding lithium as medicine to the water, because lithium has often been used to, how do I say, keep the masses just calm. Maybe you're right, Pacific. Maybe you're right. It's true, Noble Watchman. I guess I'm guilty as charged. That it was easier for me to be politically correct.
What? What's this?
I was just saying that it's easy for me to be politically correct.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
fine.
It is easy to do that than seek out all the truth and
yeah. I mean,
see everything that's happening. So I was just talking to people about the NSA. NSA will stop collecting metadata on phone records for the U.S.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because they no server space.
Oh yes, exactly. That's exactly right. They created a system where all of the phone companies have to collect the data for them.
Yep. For 18 months, or I think it's a year, 12 months to 18 months, something like that.
Everything you do through the phone system is watched.
I don't chortle. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even have no. We have a chair that's a leathered chair, so when you sit in it, it's kind of makes noise. But that's okay.
I don't think that. Yes, I do. I would think if I lived in Chechnya, I probably would think that it's a fantastic country too. Where does my loyalty come from? The place I was born. Where does my excitement come from? I believe in positivity. I believe positivity will help all of the world. So, Chechnya, anywhere is good.
Try to be positive just whenever you can.
Don't hurt people. Be nice.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. I believe in that.
I'm beginning to smell something everywhere I go, and it's an odor that I can't quite pin down. I think it's the New World odor. I really do. I think it's the smell of corruption that's been steeped in corruption for so long. And these people never have to do anything. They never lift a finger, the people that are making decisions for the world, for the people. Not the democracies that we had once envisioned would make decisions for the future of all mankind, but rather greedy little capitalistic pigs that are sitting in some room somewhere in a castle in Europe making the decisions for America and using socialism as the tool to do it. That's what they're trying to do. They're pretending to have a socialist revolution, but what this is not a democratic socialist revolution or of any sort. This is national socialism, the exact same thing Hitler employed.
And I would say that for me, I will leave the world a better place by hoping to make all of you feel good about yourselves. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Keep up the good work to you too.
Follow your dreams and enlighten others if that's what your destiny is. My destiny is to remain calm and help everyone be beautiful and happy and enjoy it.
Yeah, you have a great message too. Believe me, I'm not. Both dimensions of the viewpoints that we share in this third party are actually very vital. The point counterpoint is necessary. It's the yin and the yang. It's absolutely essential for both of us to keep our action moving so that we can keep a vibrant political structure responding in real time to the American people. I mean, isn't that the problem we've had with all the people in politics? They don't respond to the left or the right. They just kind of stonewall.
And so many politicians, from my perspective, always say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is awful, this is awful. Right. And I want to say, you are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thanks for and we're going to ask every employee in America, every federal employee, what are you proud of doing over the past 10 years at the job? And what would you think would be a good idea for you to change?
And what if you could do anything to make your
job better,
your position better, your country better, what would it be?
What would it be? Yeah, so 2 simple questions. What have you done that you're proud of, and what would you like to do to make it better? How would you change what you do? And from that, we will glean the best of the best. And we will let go of the dead wood, the bureaucrats that sit there and have no clue and have no creativity and are just warts in the face of our political structure and are sitting there holding back the vision of you people, the American people. You guys have the visions. A lot of you have great stories and great ideas. All of you do, in some way or another. And it's not filtering through to the top. The people aren't listening at the top. We do. We talk about false flags Fridays. We're free to talk about whatever we want. What would you like to discuss, Frups? Yeah. We have a socialist country right now. It's pretty much a subsidized socialist economy. It has been for some time, ever since the Great Society of LBJ. He was the first National Socialist. And then I think Ronald Reagan was the next National Socialist. He was a Democrat at one time. Reagan actually was a Democrat, became a Republican. But he was more of a National Socialist. He ushered in the advent of the big corporations. And over the past 20 years, those big corporations have been defined to about 5 food producers, probably about 5 media moguls, and it's pretty small group now that's running the country. It's no longer a group of competitive capitalist companies. It's more like the big guys getting rid of the little guys. And that's what the socialist tendency is to do. National Socialism is unique in that it supports corporations over the people. And the National Socialists like Hillary Clinton and the Obamacare group, that's all National Socialism. There was no public option. There was no universal health care plan. It was never delivered. There was never a universal health care. And I support a public option. I support a chance for you guys to pay $60 a month and have a full medical health care and dental plan in that plan. And we'll bring in up to, say if we had 20 million people paying $60 a month per person, we'd have $12 billion to work with that year to finance public doctors and public nurses and public hospitals that'll service you. And we have another safety net, which is our mobile medical unit, which will be a bypass to our healthcare crisis and provide immediate health care to people in need, people who are suffering from prediabetes, possible heart disease. And the blood test you'll take for your simple copay of $30 will get you a blood test and a full diet plan, as well as a chance to a voucher for meds and low-cost meds, generic meds right there at a mobile pharmaceutical. These are ideas that we have for our solutions for America's crisis, especially the healthcare crisis. Yeah, the Global Clinton Initiative is all a payback thing. It's a classic example of cronyism, the Clinton Global Initiative. Yeah, and Apple and Microsoft are hiding billions. I know. 150 billion Microsoft and a lot of companies are just operating out of the Netherlands to avoid that 34% income tax that the government isn't collecting because these companies are diverting. I mean, McDonald's runs out of Amsterdam, I think. Burger King is run out of the Netherlands. They are my net worth, Miss Coco. I don't really have a significant total. I've never really assessed my. I'm not materialistic. I don't place any value on money. I use money to buy milk and doomsday supplies for my prepper kits. No, we don't do that. We don't launder money. Yeah, I like to prep, so I buy good deals on sardines and Vienna sausages and things. So that's all I really know about it. I'm more into surviving, not padding my pockets like so many cronies in politics. Prisoners will get health care? Yeah, absolutely. We can have a mobile medical unit stationed right outside of a prison. Better yet, inside the prison. Safer. No, I don't like veganism. My body responds to the protein derived from beef, mostly. I try to avoid pork because I hear it has... I'm not going to talk about my food storage, Snappy. It's a personal issue. You know, it's like I don't talk about your dingleberries. Well, if you like good food, Star 7, you're suffering from a very rare mental illness. It's called orthorexia nervosa. Orthorexia nervosa. I'll pull it up for you here. Orthorexia nervosa. People suffering from wanting good food. It's an obsession with eating foods that one considers healthy. And this is how the psychotic community of psychologists are trying to control the world too. They're trying to label everything. It's a medical condition in which the sufferer systematically avoids specific foods and believes that they are harmful. It's an obsession with eating foods that one considers healthy. So yeah, you are orthorexic, nervosic. Yes, clearly a mental illness, wanting good food. I don't have baldness. Somebody said I should comb my hair, so I combed it. Can you pull your hair back for us? Absolutely, see? There you go. No, it's not. My hair has been the same it's been since 1978. I do support the idea of cold fusion, Hannibal. Yes, I do. Cold fusion, nuclear fusion, any new zero-point energies I support. I even support experimental butt plugs for animals like cows, as long as it doesn't in any way affect their sphincter. We could get a lot of that gas, that methane, out of their rectal region using some sort of a siphon. Yeah, so anyone who wants to develop a complicated butt plug to do that is welcome to it. You can start working on the patent design in your spare time. Yeah. Lockheed Martin's doing a lot of things. I know. I think they're reaching out in all different directions. That's a good sign of a healthy company. But we don't need to just be the Lockheed Martin contract disposal force. We're not here to give them everything they want either. I can see Lockheed Martin retooling more of their work towards robotics and unmanned vehicles. And I'm sure that they're even thinking about that right now. Not to mention the technologies they're creating, like graphene. Graphene looks like it has a great potential in everything from battery construction to filtering seawater. So I'm looking forward to someday working with Lockheed Martin if they'd have me. Not as an employee, but as their president. It is a pleather jacket. It's not hide. It is faux lamb skin. Lamb touch faux leather. Lamb touch faux leather. I have to carry the receipt whenever I go to the store that I bought this at, because I always keep the tag on here, because I like to remind myself that I'm not wearing leather. David, what would you say in the G20? Well, I'm sure I'll be echoing the important message about helping to find a more dispersal of funds to people who are in a growth potential. Obviously, stimulating the private sector is the key to helping all world economies, and I would endorse a plan all across every single nation. We should talk about building more environmental solutions, because I know everyone wants a cleaner water and a cleaner air and improvements in their environment. I think that's one of the growth potentials in world trade is environmental solutions, green energy, clean energy solutions. Sarah bought this for Christmas for me last year. Yep. It was on sale. I won't tell you what I paid, what she paid. Ontario changed its mind about letting people smoke weed in public after one effing day. Here's an article that I'm going to post from Vice, talking about Ontario's recent ruling about smoking weed in public, by Manisha Krishnan, staff writer. Manisha, wow. Manisha. She seems like a radical lesbian. I don't know. I'm just prejudging. Let's take a look. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Just 24 hours after announcing it would allow medical marijuana users to blaze in public, the Ontario government is doing an about-face. Yesterday, Deepika Damela, the province's associate health minister, said the move to allow patients to smoke or vape weed wherever they needed was about balancing the rights. Today, however, Demaria told reporters that the policy still needed some fine-tuning. You know, they've got laws in Colorado that if you smoke too much out of your house, they can charge you with a crime in Colorado. Yeah. I don't know if that's true everywhere, but we're up here in Washington. We've never had any problems or issues, but the technology I'm referring to is the dreaded olfactometer. When put up next to the face of law enforcement personnel, they can smell the intensity of your marijuana coming out of your window. And in Colorado, that's a serious offense. Yeah. You imagine getting fined for having too much smoke billowing out of your windows. Sorry, it's so funny. I know, Joni Mitchell. Oh, God love her. Joni Mitchell, she's, or is it Judy Collins? I'm not sure. One or the other is suffering from some disease they're facing right now. Okay. Well, you know, I want to open up guest chat because I know a lot of people want to talk, and I'm going to give you guys a chance to come on in again because I know it's important to you to get a little bit of chatting in, especially in the after show. Last night I was having a blast. We had one of the best shows we ever had, and of course YouTube cut it off. They found some little thing in it that was a violation and they pulled it up. So we won't see last night's until you get the full DVD disc, the Blu-ray and the DVD disc of our show. That'll be nice someday. Okay, so what I want to do in America is start to look at controlled environments for people. You know, areas where people can live in an area that's free of GMOs, spraying on their crops. Yeah. As a president, I'm going to be hard on Monsanto, and we're going to put the kibosh on a lot of this open GMO dissemination of seeds. It's really kind of weird what's happening, and we want to stop the tide of GMO because what's happening is many experts are finding that GMOs are weakening the higher level species. Their immune systems are weakening under the brand new process of bringing in GMO alfalfa, GMO grains. It's not producing good quality livestock. And it's killing off our planet too. It's the very same reason why we have to eliminate GMOs in the long run, or at least reduce them. Because what we're seeing is they tend to cross-migrate and propagate and pollinate, and it's never ending. Once we let the cat out of the bag, it could never stop. So we have to be more aggressive. So controlled environments will be part of my plan. No, not FEMA camps at all. Like I said, all the FEMA camps in America will have their fencing removed. There's no reason to have fencing around FEMA camps. Sarah and I went on a trip across country, and we visited an area in the country that very well could become a FEMA camp. It wouldn't be hard for this area to become a FEMA camp. Right near Mishawaka in South Bend, Indiana, there's a whole lot of empty lots for Patrick Metal. And the lots could very easily be all turned into connected FEMA camp holding areas. I mean, the whole thing looks so weird that we actually went out there and took a look at it and encountered what appeared to me to be human rail cars. It's like, well, okay, really? Human rail cars sounds a little unfree to me. I don't know about you, but it was troubling enough for me to actually make a video about it. And I did a little tour of the area on Google, and it was alarming what I saw. I'm not going to play that video for you because I can't find it right now, but it just occurred to me that, you know, our country isn't as free as it used to be with all these FEMA camps around. In 2008, when you went to Google Maps and looked up FEMA camps on a search, you could get the entire FEMA locations across the nation. Now, Google doesn't offer that. Or do they? Let me take a look here. Trying to bring up a Google map here. Curious. Yeah, the human rail car video kind of eluded me. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's up. They repositioned it. Good. Excellent. It's up again, everybody. That's super. Okay. FEMA concentration camps have been reloaded. Oh, that's super. So now you can find your FEMA concentration camp in your area. Oh, that's a great plus. I'm glad that Google brought that back up. Check it out. Yeah, so now you can find your local FEMA camp. It's interactive. Yep, Utah Lake. This is really cool. So where would you like to go? Let's check out your local area. Anybody want to go anywhere on the FEMA camp list? Frankie, we have a plan to deal with the GMOs. I'm going to activate the Justice Department to invoke a Supreme Court ruling against Monsanto. The ruling that went forth last year was that companies cannot patent any human gene that's organic. If they change the human gene to silicon based, they can patent it. So if you have an android made of silicon as opposed to carbon, that you can patent it. Well, we'll use that same premise that they can't patent any organically derived seed. That anything that is organic in nature and not silicon cannot be patented. We'll use the same precedent in court, and I'm fairly confident we'll win. All right? Scissor fight. It's got only 20 minutes. Yeah, they reactivated it, folks. You got the FEMA camp list now. You can find out where to go when they herd everybody in and try to execute the population. There you go. So go look for yourself. That's fun. Any place in the country. A Warsaw, Missouri unconfirmed report of a large concentration camp facility. Kingwood, West Virginia, newly built detention camp at Camp Dawson Army Reservation. More data needed on Camp Dawson. Edgemont, South Dakota. The site in the southwest South Dakota, north of Edgemont, is along the BN rail line at a place called Oracle. It's an old World War II Italian and German POW camp. It was mostly flat concrete slabs when I was last used. There have been seen private type security guards at the front gate at the times. Wow. Hey, this is good. So yeah, anywhere in the country, where do you want to go? Find your FEMA camp. This is fun. Freedom Friday. Find where they'll take you away. So no, I'm not talking about controlled environments like FEMA camps. I'm talking about You know, why don't you just go to the Street View yourself, okay, Pacific? I gave you the link. You want it again? Yeah, go find your own FEMA camp. Go on a little scavenger hunt. Whew, yeah. You're offering Syria? I didn't realize you were giving up Syria. You know, many people don't realize the secret plan that was put in place a couple of years ago by our government and the UK, and obviously France is now involved again. We always knew they were there, they just weren't actively involved. Canada has stepped away from the plan, though. I admire Justin Trudeau for stepping out of the Syrian involvement. I think that's great. My show is interesting. I just showed you where you can find your own FEMA camp. I mean, how close is that? I mean, how more enjoyable is that than to locate your own local FEMA camp? But controlled environments, in my mind, are protected environments along our seawater pipeline that would be places to live, that would have air quality control and water quality control. Now, at a time when the Earth is being slowly poisoned with Fukushima radiation spilling into the ocean, I think a lot of you have kind of forgotten the fact that we have a slow drip of radiation going into our Pacific Ocean, killing off our intertidal zones. It's easy to forget, I know. I'll remind you, though, with this fake animation. This is the foreboding reality. You're very close to Fort Meade, yeah. So yeah, this is happening. We don't really like it, but we're going to need some solutions to this disaster. And I've got a plan to deal with Fukushima as well, but I can only deal with Fukushima with working with the Japanese. We can't do this alone. We have to have a joint multilateral approach to solving the problem with Fukushima. Click on the one in the Gulf. Let's take a look at that one, okay? Now, in the one in the Gulf says this. It's very interesting. It said, there are many other locations not listed above that are worthy of consideration as possible detention camps, but due to space limitations and the time needed to verify could not be included here. Okay. Virtually all military reservations, posts, bases, stations, and depots can be considered highly suspect because it is federal land. Regional airports, international airports. Yeah, exactly like I was saying. The whole area from Mishawaka to South Bend, there's not one gas station for 10 miles. You try driving someplace without a gas station for 10 miles in an area with 50,000 people per square mile. I mean, it's weird. Everybody's living there, but there's no gas station. It's strange. It was like going into like a weird lockdown facility. The Planned Parenthood guy is white and killed a cop, arrested. Do you think that's, as president, it's important to highlight the inequities that exist within our justice system? Absolutely. PS Exis, not TPS 1. Yeah, I'm really concerned about a growing privately funded prison system that is growing on the backs of a greater, more foreboding police state. It's almost like it's a parasite. The private prison system is a parasite sucking off the tax dollars that keep doling out for overly punitive laws created by Democrats and Republicans. It doesn't mention the 5 Walmarts they're converting for plumbing purposes. I know. And the Pacific is turning into Pepto-Bismol. Exactly. It is abysmal. It's Pepto-Abysmal. Okay, we still have a new name. But yeah, it's serious. I don't want to think for a second that we're just going to fix this magically. But I do have a plan to fix the Fukushima crisis. And I'll tell you about it probably tomorrow on our anti-war rally. Pepto-Abysmal. Nope, I'm not choosing anyone from the internet to become on my cabinet. I will open a dialogue with people from the internet, like, Vermin Supreme maybe want to talk to me, give me a call. Remember Vermin Supreme? There are some people that probably should get through to me. You guys want to call me as well, and we'll have a nightly chat show too. Well, guest 889 says, David, how's it hanging? More crap again today. Seems to never end. You're right, man. You know, this is all theater. I'd say 50 to 80% of what's happening in America is theater. There's a 30% component, 20 to 30 to 40%, somewhere in there, that is probably real. The shooting of the Planned Parenthood event looks real, but again, we're waiting on information. If we see only a couple pictures and then a couple of, there are live crisis actor events going on every day in America, and they simply bring them full on live with the media listening in and make it seem real whenever they want to push this propaganda or this approach. When you think about it, this could all be orchestrated by artificial intelligence. It's very simple when you think about it. All you have to do is start, say, 50 fires in not that believe me, I don't recommend ever doing that. I'm not a pyro, and I don't recommend you doing that. But if you start enough problems around the country, let's put it that way, you break down the system, you force police and law enforcement to be wasting a lot of their time, and you also create crisis actor events that are going on simultaneously. You simply merge the two and go public with it, with 5 separate networks which are all under control, that no one else can get into the news. You can't get a job working for the main network unless you're a total suck-up corporate pig willing to turn on your own people and your own countrymen and become a treasonous scumbag. That's what gets you a job in the media. So, yeah, I didn't want to do that. I chose not to be a heartless scumbag who works like a complete sociopath for money. I don't want a job. I don't need a job. I don't love money. You guys do. You are all in love with money, or those of you who are not in love with money know what I'm talking about. But many of you are in love with money. That's why you're being taken down the road to ruin by a capitalist pig we lovingly call the Donald. You guys who are on the far right or fringe independent people who are sucking up to the Donald on a daily basis, who think that, oh gosh, he just said another fun thing. He wants to, go ahead and deport all Muslims. What a great idea. Not realizing he is literally prancing around like a dick in the woods, little Mr. Dick Woods, pushing his ego, pretending like he's got the big balls that he's going to go kick some ass, turning our country into an even bigger police state. There you go. The Dick Wood in the woods, thinking he can pounce on every individual who thinks that they can't possibly sue him, so they better not say anything. And anyone who criticizes him, he threatens to sue. This guy's out of control, and you people like that. That's how sick this country has become. Mr. Dick Wood. Mr. Wood Dick. It's Dick Wood here. How you doing? Sounds like a car salesman. Howdy, name's Dick Wood. Let me show you this wonderful car. We're calling it America, and we're going to basically sell it to everybody around the world and profit from it, and I'm going to give it to all my cronies. That's how it is. And this guy is willing to sell his soul for cash from the Federal Reserve. He's willing to sell his country for next to nothing to China. It's all China. China. Yeah, really? Who's pulling your strings, buddy? That's a sick thing to put on a show. Here's one of the MAP FEMA camps. We have a picture. That's the sickest cartoon ad I've ever... I played it for a second, only enough to realize it was this bizarre statement. Oh, here's a lovely FEMA camp. Well, howdy, buckaroo. Welcome to the Buffalo Soldier Annex statue, home of the FEMA camp. Yeah, you're looking at the fencing in the background. You see it? Oh, yeah. That fencing is double layer. You're looking at double fencing right there. Yeah. It's hard to get over that. Please say China with a China accent. I don't know what a China accent is. China. 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 I thought I was going to use a New York accent. China. Okay, whatever, guys. You know, every Army base is a potential FEMA camp. We've got it right here in Fort Lewis. They took an entire 15 miles stretch of I-5. And if you're ever driving up Oregon to Washington, you may want to take side roads during an apocalyptic event, because the entire I-5 road is a veritable FEMA camp. You drive for 15 miles around Fort Lewis and you will see fencing like you will never see before. They built an off-ramp just to handle the incoming traffic of human cargo. And then it connects directly to a rail car which heads straight to the FEMA camps and the detention centers. Well, let's be clear. Every lot is a potential FEMA camp. That's correct. Every lot that has fencing around is a potential FEMA camp. Why do we have fencing around camps? Just use logic, folks. They're planning something like Hitler planned in Germany. Just wake up. It's time for you to wake up. It really is. What I'm going to do is simply prosecute anybody who hires illegal aliens with a felony charge. That's a much better way. And then the illegal aliens, they don't have to be physically handled. They just leave. They just won't want to live here. You know, if you go back to the draconian methods that Donald Trump is proposing, where we have people ID, and it's just like Hitler. Or a deportation force, oh my God. This guy is off the top, man. I mean, he's one of the Trumps of Germany. Of course he wants to implement his plan. I mean, look at his name, Trump. It was not even real. His real name is Trump. Yeah. Trump is not his name. It's not Trump. It's Trump. Yeah, and he's afraid of his name, too. That's what's really weird. He's afraid of using his real name. Man, if I had a name like Sponheim, I wouldn't change it to Spawn. Hey, it's Dave Spawn here. How you doing? I know people who actually have a name. They're named Mr. Spawn. I actually know that. But I'm proud of my name. His name is Trump. It's not Trump. Originally, his great-grandfather had a name of Trump. Tronald Trump, yeah. Let me see if I have a picture of his grandfather here. Oh, nope, that's not quite him, but it could be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do that. I'm banning everybody that I can. Somebody's ruining it for somebody else. All right, let's do a round robin of news stories that we have here. It's fun stuff that we gathered together on Freedom Friday to look at. So better places for us to live would be great. Thank you. I'm even considering the possibility of civil defense systems underground for the American people. Seriously. I see no reason why we can't move in that direction. We have to work on the roads first, though, folks. There's a lot of potential jobs in America, but we have to start working on things that we can fix, that we know are broken, and not fix things that definitely are not broken. Our problem with the Democrats is they continue to dig up roads that are perfectly fine just to regenerate more and more funds, corporate contracts with big companies that go in and repave roads. I will not allow Syrian refugees into our country. Two wrongs don't make a right. When Barack Obama decided to fund the rebels in Syria and initiate the process of breaking down the local communities, he basically created the problem. And in no way allowing refugees into our country is going to correct a problem. So like I said, two wrongs don't make a right. We need to make amends with Syria and with President Putin and make essentially a deal where we pull out and the Syrians can go back to their home country. It'd be much better for everybody. Obama signed 800. I don't know. He's basically given 648,000 illegal alien Muslims green cards over the past 5 years. He sent 500 million to the rebels. He signed for that, and the Congress, Democratic and Republican Congress, approved of that 500 million. It went out about 8 months ago, or close to a year ago now. And that's why this whole thing started. He literally funded the rebels, who then became ISIS. And Obama and Hillary were both instrumental in implementing this plan. And this is, again, a New World Order plan to create crisis in Syria and create yet another unnecessary war. Removing the Syrian refugees once they're in, we have their addresses, we'll just bring them in. Everybody with a green card has to be brought in. We have the ability to do that. All the green cards are RFID chipped, so we'll bring them in and we'll send them home. Green cards are temporary. We don't need to have more IDs like Donald Trump wants to talk about IDing people who are Muslim. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, we're going to take guests off. I was hoping you guys would be a little bit better, but we got a couple of bad seeds that are distorting it for others. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. We have a new caricature of Donald Trump. The look of greed is in your eyes tonight. The look of absolute greed. Da 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 da. He is proud of his greediness too. That's what's really interesting. Proud to be greedy. I just have never met anybody who's proud of their greediness. I don't get that. I don't. We've got so many other problems other than that to deal with. I know you lost the ball, but it's cool. It's all cool. So growing marijuana in certain states have been very profitable, but some states aren't showing much profit, like Washington. There's not a lot of transparency. We're wondering where all that money's going that they're making on the weed business, or maybe they're not making it on the weed business. Maybe everything is so overly regulated that the Democrats don't even know how wonderful it is in Colorado with their less regulated system. You lost the ball, but it's cool. It's all cool. Legalizing marijuana is very much part of our freedom because it is medicinal, it is healthy, good for people, it's never killed anybody. Why would we have it illegal? But David, the Syrian refugees are already disappearing once inside of U.S. borders. Okay, Snappy Surfy? Yeah. Well, the Democrats are creating a crisis, we'll solve it. Have no fear. One of the ways we can bring people in is through their churches. Now, when I say bring people in through their churches, I'm not going so far as Marco Rubio and having every person that's at a church or a synagogue register. I'm talking about a simple process of surveillance. We've already got this in place. Absolutely. We could actually make it so we legally can photograph everybody who goes into a church, legally. So that's just one way we can do information gathering. We can run that photograph against a database of known illegals that have come in, their faces, and check, using high technology, check and make sure that they are the ones, in fact, that's their location. And then we simply apprehend them. This whole thing can be done more low-key than the Trump style, which is more in their face and attacking people, turning our country into a police face. A police state is not needed. I will phase out the TSA and replace them with plainclothes National Guardsmen and Coast Guards ladies and men. That'll be very respectful of your bodies, will not touch your junk, will have a wand like in the old days. So what we have here is a potential situation where our government has been systematically training ISIL forces. Even Obama has stated it categorically, and is now opening the border to said trained mercenaries. And I'm not making this up. We actually have a video of Obama that's legitimate, telling people that he is funding ISIL. And he has been behind this for some time. So he's funding the very people he claims are attacking.
was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
Okay. Yeah, it is definitely photoshopped. I mean, hello. It's a picture depicting what's happening here. You don't get this? And it's going right into Europe, and it could very well be a disaster for Europe and for the U.S. Of course it's photoshopped. What kind of a question is that? It's absurd. And it's coming to your home near you. Yeah. So they're slipping in not only through the back door, the side door, in between, up, down. That date of speech was just in 2015. Yeah. If I can pull up the date of the article, let me pull up the ad itself. Hang on. Let me get a timestamp on you. Okay, you want to look for something probably around July 8th, 2015. July 8th, 2015 is when he said it, or near there. A disaster is what these people cannot be vetted. That's why the House is going out of their way to make sure that they can vet everybody that Barack Obama claims he wants to bring in. They don't support it. They certainly don't in any way condone the entire idea of bringing in illegals into our country. They don't want that. The Republicans don't. But they may want illegal alien Mexican labor, but yeah, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Let me bring you a little entertainment. Yeah, I got to get my voice back up. I walked out of there without my cup of coffee, and it's essential for me. Bigger police state. But we've got solutions they don't have. Okay, so you guys want Dickwood, or do you want a real American who relates to you guys? Dickwood doesn't even know about the new coming Trojan horse. He's part of it. He fell right into it. He wants to send troops into the Middle East. I don't. I'm not like Dickwood. I'm not some freaky nutcase who supports the New World Order like Dickwood. A real American. A real American who really believes our country's at risk of being controlled by corporate elitists who are destroying the very grounds we walk on, trying to sell us from under us. Sell the ground from under us. That's what they're trying to do. Allow these people to harvest our nation like a resource. Hi, Sarah. Come on. All right.
I feel all these displaced people.
Yeah, there are a lot of displaced people out there. It's a big
world.
It's a space.
It's just so sad.
It is. We saw some people today that were really one lady was breaking down crying. She looked like she was a person from Seattle that was, having a hard time adjusting to our area. Seemed like it. That's what I said to Sarah. I said, I don't recognize that person. She seems a little out there. Good evening. Yeah.
All the lonely people.
Okay, everyone's getting a little dizzy. I'll stop space for a second.
Okay, thank you.
I stopped the time-space continuum for everyone. Yeah, Hunter S. Thompson was a real American, and there's a very good possibility he was killed. I don't want to ever go to the Bohemian Grove, no. I won't go to any private meetings, secret meetings. Everything I want to do is out in the open with cameras rolling. I want C-SPAN to be there wherever I go. Sarah's hair is stunning. Wow. She has great hair. It's beautiful. Thank you for giving me a little break on our night.
Yeah. Do you need to take another break?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little restroom break. But, we are trying to deal with this, at least up close and personal. I want to show you some of the things that we've been talking about in our show tonight. You may have missed it.
I do have Dave.
Yes. I have, yes.
Somebody that could have Dave.
No,
like
she
you
does.
could have done something, and I said, I do have Dave.
That's right. The NSA will end its mass collection of data about American phone calls, but it's really just telling people that they're going to have to store it on their servers. All communication hubs will have to store the communication records of phone transmissions. Just the calls being made is what they're storing. I don't know if they're keeping track of the audio files, but that would be a little creepy if they did. And then lithium in drinking water, according to an Illinois State Water Survey that came in when I was gone. Possible potential health impacts of rechargeable lithium batteries in the electronic waste cycle. So that's concerning people who are drinking water with lithium in it. What was this? NSA begins new phone surveillance program. Okay, that's the change that's happening. What does it really mean? Yeah, you can check that out. I'll give you the link.
Long story short, basically,
Yeah, go ahead.
the locals will be keeping your phone data.
Yeah, local communications
Local
servers.
providers.
Yeah, local providers. And Colorado Planned Parenthood shooting, 3 dead, suspect has been captured. We'll see if anything comes out
9
about
injured.
this. 9 injured, wow. That's serious. $38 billion net worth.
Proper disposal of batteries is very important.
Blue Origin and Jeff Bezos. Yeah, that's nice. We showed the firecracker being thrown into the cafe outside Paris, France, by one of the people claiming to be hiding from gunshots. And then Donald Trump is big news still, talking about making fun of disabled people now, and now denying he did, denying he was mocking a reporter, and everyone has him on camera. I mean, is this guy tethered to reality? Does he even know what he's doing? I'm beginning to wonder if he has no sense of social awareness.
What was he doing?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh.
For many years. So I think his expectation is that Donald Trump does know who he is, but Donald Trump is saying, actually, I don't.
He was mocking I don't want to bring it up. It's not that important.
We have an additional
Okay, let's not
statement
bring it up.
from Donald
Let's get
Trump's
rid of
office.
Well, he was making fun of this guy right here, who has a disability and who made some statements about global climate change, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is, this guy was offended. He's got some deformities, and the whole news is making an issue about Donald Trump making an issue. And now he's denying he made an issue, so that's it. And then I talked about womb and vagina envy, which is attributed to people who are seeking to make their name more important, like Trump. He has, and he stated those horrible things about Megyn Kelly, and without ever retracting a statement. And then we talked about the helicopter crash in 1989 that killed 3 top executives that worked for Donald Trump in a bankruptcy that many people thought would have been the end of him. And he came out flying higher with more money than ever before after that bankruptcy and those people dying. I'm not saying he had anything to do with that. I'm just saying the strangeness of this story is worth looking into. Yes, Beekman, what is it?
What's our problem? What's your problem?
What's your problem? U.S. shoppers going wild Did we play any
No,
of
I
these?
didn't play any of
Okay,
those.
I'll play those in just a bit. Ridiculing shoppers in line on Black Friday at Best Buy.
Okay, the video about the girl throwing the firecracker, what about it, Beekman?
Yeah.
No, because that window was already broken.
That window was
supposedly.
broken. They had broken it out with who knows? They took a hammer
The
to
gun.
it. Whatever. We saw the window once it's open. The other video, the video clearly shows the other windows have glass on them. So she tossed them through an open window. These firecrackers right through an open
Beekman
window.
says it wasn't.
No, it was. Do we want to look at the video again? I mean,
Yes, we do have a BitPay account.
yes, we
No.
do. Yeah.
Actually, no. I think I got rid of it. Or
Okay,
something.
we'll take a look.
I didn't go forward with it.
All right, and I brought up
Because I
believe it or
didn't
not,
wanna
Sarah,
give them my
we have
information.
a list now of the FEMA camps on Google.
Anybody can add a dot to a Google map.
You have the FEMA camps now. You can check your local area to find your local FEMA camp, folks. There's the link. If you want to locate where you are and what state, there's Hastings, Nebraska, FEMA detention facility, south central part of the state. It gives you a full detail of all the places that will be incarceration centers for anybody who goes against the police state that they're forming
Anybody
right
can
now.
add a dot to a Google map.
I'm just telling you, it's out there now. It's a brand new Google map. It's readily available and you can look at it. Well, you want to focus on facts, Beekman. Stop denying the truth. She threw it through an open window. I'll be right back. Thank you.
I didn't know if she was she banging on the door to get in. I don't know. What was that article? There was some article about it. Do you have that article, Beekman? The one that's trying to debunk the woman throwing a firecracker article. Do you have that? New program that collects your info. Yes. David just posted that. You have no such article, neither do I, so I'm going to go with the video. Which looks like she's throwing something. And then suddenly something goes off. Firecracker goes off. It's strange that it's not like one of those firecrackers that goes off on the ground. And it's strange, like, there was definitely shooting before she turned and did whatever she did with the firecrackers. So there's shooting before. But what if it wasn't solid glass? What if it had been shot out moments before, Beekman? That's the question. I'll have to go back and look at the thing with the firecracker and see if it was actually. Let's go. All right, I'm going back and I'll see if it was solid glass. YouTube.com/scissorfight. I have the passion. Been a lot of staged news recently. Alright, so here it is again. Let's look at this. Alright. Oh, great. Alright, so here it is again. What's that? What's that blast? So something happens, some kind of blast happens before the woman supposedly does whatever with the firecracker. So and that glass doesn't appear to be shattered. It appeared to be coming from the far side of the screen over there. Okay, so she gets up. It's like a second. What? It's like there's a hole right down here above the 4. Do you see that, Beekman? There does appear to be a hole. I can't tell because the footage is pretty bad, but No, I'm not admitting I'm wrong. I'm looking at, I'm going to go and I'm going to zoom in. See right here, right there above the 4, there seems to be a hole in the right here, right here. There seems to be a hole above that 4. And that's where she seems to throw whatever she's throwing. So there may have been a blast hole there. Let's keep playing it. Then she comes in. But okay, so she comes in, but let me go back. So 7. What? That's so weird right there. 7. Let me go back to 7. So she's turned away at 7 seconds. Let me go back to 6. 6 seconds something happens. 6 seconds it looks like she's still sitting down at 6 seconds. She gets up, she turns around. Oh wait, I'm not, I should look at her. She gets up, she turns around. Let me go zoom in. I'm just trying to see what she does. So at 7 seconds, she turns around. Then she puts her hand out. Right there, she puts her hand out. And there's something that goes in right there when she puts her hand out. At 7 seconds, she puts her hand out. Right there. What is that? What is... There's some kind of thing that comes in through that hole that I was referring to earlier. The reason that this is important is supposedly this woman, supposedly they later said that the woman is a crisis actor. I can't even tell who the woman is in this video. I can't tell if it's some crisis actor they say later. They say it's a crisis actor and that this was taken in Paris and that this proves that it was a false thing because she then later claimed that she was injured. It does look like there's some kind of, if you look at this particular shot, there was some kind of thing that came through that hole. Now Beekman says that that was some people claim that she threw something through that hole, and other people say she got shot in the left wrist. Left wrist. That would be her right wrist. Well, she did not use her left wrist to go up. Let me go back. No, I'm not. I'm trying to just look at a video. I'm not saying anything was fake. So she has, her left arm is dangling. Her right arm she's using to try to, and then something goes in, there's a bang, and she comes in. Oh, she's looking like she's grabbing her left arm though. She definitely looks like she's grabbing her left arm. I will say that much. And there continues to be, what is this? Her again? So, see, the thing is that people claiming, I don't know. I have to say, I definitely think there is a hole there. But whether she throws something through the hole, I'm not convinced of that. I do have to say that. Because her hand and that hole are far apart. Well, wait, Beekman, go back and look that there's something that comes through right there. Something comes through that area. Some kind of like, but it could be a shot of some kind. That's what I'm thinking. It might not be from her hand. It might be a shot from like somebody else's shotgun. Something's coming through there. Oh, you say when the door's open, the hole's not consistent. Okay, let me go back. Okay. There's a blast. The thing is, it doesn't make sense she would be a crisis actor because she's getting into the restaurant for safety and security. She's grabbing her left arm. Let's see. And you're saying it's not consistent because when the door opens, it doesn't move, but it does move. I wish they would show that. They think they show her hands doing something. I'm going to go back. See, there's no hole right there. So it was a hole in the door. There's a hole in the door. It moves with the door, and the door opens, and you don't see that that thing on the screen. However, if it was just her throwing a firecracker, it would not be. It is a hole in the door, or some kind of circular mark in the door. And see right there where it came through, that hole, or near that hole. Do you see that right there? It came right there. They show it over and over in this video. Maybe it is glass spray. Glass spray possibly from a bullet. And perhaps not a firecracker of hers. What kind of glass makes a round hole without shattering? Shatterproof glass when shot with the correct caliber of a weapon will make a hole without shattering. It doesn't have that look in the video when the door is open, Beekman.
Yeah, there is no.
Yeah, like safety glass will do that.
There's no safety glass in that window.
You think it looks like a door decal? Maybe it is a door decal, but it's obviously, I think it's a hole in the door.
It's a hole in the window. The other one you can clearly see glazing.
I have to say, looking at the video, I'm not convinced that she threw a firecracker in. No, I'm not convinced of that. I believe what's more plausible is that there was someone shooting from outside and she went into there for safety.
And she tried to put her hand in at the same time somebody shot something through the window?
Yes, she went to go push open the door.
Oh, clearly she's tossing it out of her hand. You can see it leaving her hand. I mean,
I don't see anything. I see her hand, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's shooting it.
All right. Well, that's nice. That's special. You can all believe whatever you want to see. Good evening.
Wait, I can see the bullet hole develop. Look above the fake circular hole. Okay, let me go back.
And no way was her hand shot with an AK-47. I mean, she wouldn't have been moving her hand if it had.
No, it was the other hand, David. She was clearly holding her left hand.
Yeah, but when she went down out of there, her left hand...
She's using her right hand.
Yeah.
If you say that she's using it to push
Scissor
open.
fight. If Scissor Fight's here, we can get a link to that.
This is it.
No, we have a link to her going down the staircase, holding onto the staircase with her left hand. We have that too. She went down the staircase after in the surveillance camera from another angle, holding the staircase with her left hand, which she claimed was hit with an AK-47. Yeah. And she pushed the door open with her left hand, Scissor Fight says. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, you got a good interview with Hunter S. Thompson? Good. Thank you. Well, I'm just glad we were able to discuss all these important issues tonight. You know, we get a lot done in our nightly chat. Freedom Friday is always great because we have the freedom to talk. I'm not sure why that camera is frozen. Hang on. Isn't that weird?
Okay, Bruce, let me go back.
Hang on, Bruce.
You're probably right. I missed the bullet hole creation.
Camera unavailable.
What happened? I did not do anything.
Well, there's something
Did
about
I
your
step
foot.
on something?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Crap. I'm gonna
Hang on,
just
hang on.
leave.
It's okay.
That would be best. I'll
Well,
just
thank you,
leave.
Sarah. Well, we loved having you.
I have to go back now and watch that video.
We love you, Sarah. Oh, yes. Hang on. There we go. I just have to do this real quick. Hold on.
But she's clearly holding her left hand when she goes into the restaurant. And shooting continues after she's in the restaurant. That's the big thing for me.
Well, she got in the restaurant and there are more caps going off. Yes, that's true.
Yes, which she's not throwing.
Okay. Good point. Well taken. Point well taken. No need to worry about, accusations. We're not involved in this event, so we're just watching it from the sidelines. All right.
All right, thanks, Scissor Fight. I'll look at that one too.
Yeah, this is her going down the
Beekman,
stairs.
maybe it was a sticker.
Thank you, Scissor Fight. This one has her going down the stairs. I'll line it up for you. You want to just take a look at that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me put that in the middle so people can see it. Okay. I'm going to mute it because I don't want to interrupt the continuity, but this will show her walking down the stairs
Where?
in just a second. Let's take a look at that right there.
And bang, opens the door. Her job was done. Pretend to be a victim here, holding her left wrist because it's supposedly been shot and it's bloodied, and she runs behind the counter. So from the second camera, what we're going to see, you won't actually see the woman throw anything or go to the door, but you'll see a puff of smoke around here. I'll point that out here, then you'll see her walking in. Just want to point out this guy, the supposed manager, and the 20-year-old waitress. The script is that this guy runs down the stairs, and as soon as it, supposed shooting starts, this coward doesn't worry about his 20-year-old worker. He runs down the stairs. The reason for that is so this woman here can run in and go under here with this 20-year-old. So to be made out to look like heroes, like she sort of rescued this woman. Yeah, bullshit. But that's what it's all about. He had to run downstairs.
Okay,
to get
stop
this woman around
talking
here,
and show the
that's how it
damn
was
video.
all scripted.
Here we
and
go.
you'll see in another video how
Okay, I'll clue it
kids
up.
do their thing. Before I show that again, right there, right, he runs top left, and it's a
I'm getting there. Hang on.
exact one. It's where the smoke. Fuck, can't miss it. Let's slow it down one last time. You'll see.
This is from another angle.
Anything.
Hang on.
Bullshit
We're
shooting.
going to get to it in a second.
These actors here.
I
Okay,
need to know.
let's just
Go
put
to
the icing on
1020.
the cake
Okay.
to prove this
Here we
is
go.
totally
1020. Coming
staged.
up. Here we go.
These two idiots,
Thank
supposed
you.
heroes, have done their bit. She's acted out her part.
Here she is. Watch
Now,
this. Watch this.
They're going to run for cover. They're going to run downstairs. But as we've told at the start, this woman in the coat,
Yeah.
she got supposedly shot in the wrist.
Okay,
Shot in the
let's
wrist
see.
by a
You'll see
bullet.
it.
Bloody hell, that'd be painful.
All right, I'm waiting to
Broken
see
hand,
the
broken
stupid
finger,
video.
supposedly blood
It's just
everywhere.
ridiculous.
Don't see any
I know.
blood.
It is
That
ridiculous.
wrist would be
Watch, hang on.
absolutely in agony.
Then play it.
So what I'm gonna show
Stupid
you here,
game, you this
As
idiot.
she runs down. in front of
Please.
the
Thank you.
She
Can't
is-
even stand listening to them.
I know.
He doesn't even play the video. Can you give me the actual link to the original
It's
video,
coming, it's
please?
coming. Hang on. It's coming.
No, the original video that this idiot got it from.
Just watch it. It's coming. Here. See? She grabs it right there. See it? See it? I'll play it again. Here she goes. What? She's grabbing it right there. She gets up. And here it is. Watch this. See? She grabs it with her arm. That's her left arm that's been shot. Okay? I rest my case. See it?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. She saw it finally. Okay. She has her left arm that's been shot with an AK-47, and there's no blood, by the way. Thank you very much.
But you claim that that's the original woman, and I can't even see because the stupid idiot that created that video doesn't even have an actual...
It's on the
Oh,
video. It
God.
shows 3...
I can't even stand this.
Hey, it's okay. Thank you.
I think this shooting, I still go back to the original. I go back and forth, but the shooting in Paris happened, and I don't believe all of this false flag.
I'm fine
BS.
with you believing whatever you want to believe. It's fine with me. Thank
really
you, Sarah.
don't. What's the point? So we go to war with Syria?
That's a
so
bad
we
thing.
accept Syrian refugees?
Right,
I mean,
exactly. That's the
so?
point. Yeah, not so. That is the point. We don't want to go to war with Syria, and we don't want to
We
accept
already
refugees.
went to war with Syria, and we've continued it for however many years.
We are not at war with Syria right now, Sarah. We just have a lot of executive
Our
orders.
Congress hasn't declared it, but we're still at war with North Korea.
The fact is, we're not getting rid of any of these wars by starting more. I mean, it's a no-brainer. This is not that big of a deal to comprehend, folks. We cannot achieve peace through war. All right, we're going to end our official regular programming on that note, and we'll leave it for tomorrow. Our anti-war rally picks up where we left off tonight. I would love to sit and chat for a long, long time, but I want to go in and enjoy some time with Sarah on Netflix and watch the chat later on in the evening. I come in back and chat with you guys well into the wee hours, but we play videos all the way to 2 a.m. Thanks, Zelfire. This has always been a challenge to continue this dialogue when both people on both sides disagree. Somehow we find... I know you have the original. Thank you. Says Rafite. Somehow we find a way to come together on issues like the third party. Now, we have a website, AmericasThirdParty.com, which has everything on it which Sarah and I agree on 100%. And just because we may differ on how corrupt the government is, we can all agree the government is relatively corrupt. So, you can watch my, I guess, Wednesday's show, because Thursday's was knocked off. Thanksgiving's was knocked off. But our website always features the show from the night before, or in this particular case, 2 nights before. Oh, that was last night. I didn't get my video. It was not cut off. There it is, right there. What do you mean it was cut off? Somebody said it was cut off. Oh, this video contains content from UMG who has blocked it on copyright grounds. Okay, it was cut off. There you go. So tonight this video will be playing, preferably, we're going to have to file a complaint and retraction on their part. It takes a lot to do this. We've done it before, but you can find out about getting me on the ballot by clicking your state down on the side, or this drop-down menu. Or you can check out our policies, which are all at the top. Our mission, our platform, every single area that we cover, energy options, global climate change, regionalization. These are all the same plans we've had for the past 8 years because they're still relevant. And all our new ideas, like our Back to the Basics plan, Blueprint for Economic Recovery, which is a great program helping housing, jobs, getting people a dream of home ownership. All these cool high-tech solutions we have for the country, maglev rail, which is pay-as-you-go. We don't put out a huge amount of money. We don't waste your tax dollars. I don't embed anything. I'm going to post on LiveLeak. Yeah, thank you, Giraffe Brain. Okay, maybe I'll post last night's show on a LiveLeak. It'd be kind of cool. You got a bizarre one for me? Wow. Whoa. That is really amazing. Thank you very much. Okay, let's play this for everybody. This is a bizarre accident with a vehicle's tail left in the air by an unknown force. Wow. That is amazing. Look at that. So these vehicles go down the road, It looks like some sort of a magnetic force that's lifting them. Whoa, what is that? That's under the WTF hashtag. Oh man, that is amazing. That is a really amazing clip. Thank you for that, Beekman. Dave, this is good stuff. Yeah, they have live streaming and chat, I know. We're going to go in there. The Chopper Christmas story. All right, we'll start with that and say goodnight to our regular viewers, and we're going to be bringing on a bunch of videos about Black Friday. We'll see how that rolls out. Got a bunch of videos we're going to be playing. And we'll start with the Chopper Christmas story. All righty. Why not? Can't be real even with wires. It's weird, isn't it? It's fake for sure, Frankie. Frankie, you really are surprising me. I mean, Frankie, by the way, for the record, supports the idea of reptilians. And when we show people like Frankie these real hardcore pieces of weirdness, he says, oh, it's fake. But you don't think the reptilian pictures of snake eyes are fake. That's interesting, Frankie. I mean, it's just trying to figure you out. And you're okay with illegal alien Syrians coming into our country. It's amazing. I'm trying to figure you out, man. You're an enigma to me. Yeah. All right, so everybody have a great evening. Get some sleep. Try to at least get 6 or 7 hours if you can. It was caused by a down power line. Oh, thank you. That explains it. All right, here we go. This is what we've been waiting for, a Chopper Christmas story. See you tomorrow, Hannibal. Good night, everybody.